Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dells. And this is episode 482. In this episode, we're going to talk about the NFL draft, give our NFL draft winners and losers, and talk about some dynasty football and the 5 players that you need to target the most, or at least give you the information to make an educated decision on that selection. Fellas, how are we doing? It's been a while since we've been in the studio, but we're here.
Feels foreign to me at this point. We just haven't been here in so long, but you always feel at home sometimes. You know, it's just a weird way to describe it. That being said, we're talking about dynasty. We're actually doing our dynasty draft as we speak. We do it the fun way, though. We have every one pick take 24 hours. So it's a long draft. So you take your time. Hey, you want
takes a week to finish sometimes.
Hey, trade offers. Maybe we want to trade back.
That
too.
too.
More assets.
That's it. You just extend what might just be one of the best times of the offseason. I think it was a brilliant idea brought by you. I'm pretty sure you were the one that came up with it.
I think so. We've been doing it for a couple of years
now.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Shocked.
Not gonna lie.
It's messed up, man.
This is our moment to talk to you guys about Prize Picks because they sponsor the show. They help us pay the bills around here, and you helping them is helping us in a big way. And with that, we give you guys the best lineups.
Talk to them.
For the NFL draft, we correctly predicted where Travis Hunter was going to go, Ashton Genty, and Shedeur Sanders falling. We didn't expect the 5th round, but we saw him getting drafted outside of the top 20 picks. And because of that, we got a free lineup, and we're using it on the NBA playoffs. And the lineup is Giannis Antetokounmpo, 33.5 points. More on that.
Come on.
Lock.
He's not losing.
Cade Cunningham, 6.5 assists.
Easy.
Especially with the playmaking that he's done. I mean, he got that most of it in the third quarter in game 4.
Completely took over the third quarter.
That
Love that
me.
man.
Cade is going to take over, but so is Jalen Brunson because
100%.
he's going to be at 29.5 points.
King of New York.
More than that. Franz Wagner. I'm banking on Franz Wagner making one dunk. One
okay. Scared me.
The
I
1-3, I would have bet against it personally.
His slashing ability, Franz is going to get into that basket, and he's going to yam it on Jason
I like
Tatum.
that.
Oh my God.
One thing about him, he can finish.
James Harden, I think he has a bounce back game. I think he has more than 21 points in Game 5.
Oh, we got the
versus
mega
Nuggets.
slip in.
Yes, it's 5 because it's a free lineup.
Free lineup.
We
Why
got it
not?
because
Gotta
we
go
won
all the way.
our draft lineup. And if you guys tailed us on the draft lineup, you guys would have won too and had this free play. But if you guys want to tail us, you can. It's an 11.5x multiplier, $10 to win $57.50.
We're about to retire early, boys, and I'm excited.
Let's get it. So if you guys want to support Prospects and support the Pick a Side podcast, go to Prospects and use code PAS. You play $5, you get $50.
I'm shocked.
Every
that
once
you
in a
came
while,
up
have a
with
good
it.
idea.
You know, you do surprise.
You
no,
did
no
say
lie.
a couple years ago, so you were smarter a couple years
We
ago.
have been making that statement, and that statement is true.
I feel like at some point we're gonna catch up to it. Like at some point, a couple of years ago, I was dumb. You know what I mean? So like, at what point? What year was it where tides
No,
turned?
I think what we're gonna do is like this. We can just point to this point where you just haven't looked back of being dumb.
Okay, what point is that?
I don't know. I forgot when we started these.
As soon as
agenda.
you take Tatum out of the top 4 combos.
Oh, don't be an idiot.
That's when you'll be turning the page on being smart again.
I knew where you were going when the way you were nasty texting us. I knew the route you were going to take. It was some nasty things going
It's
on,
fun
man.
trolling.
Are you trolling?
It's half trolling, half serious.
Well, it's Celtics fans. You know how they get down.
He said it yesterday on the live reaction.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
No. He said it yesterday on the live reaction. He's like, yeah, Drew, you said you were talking about my trolling tweets, but yeah, there's truth to it.
Well, it's a trolling tweet, but those were Luka's real fourth quarter numbers. So I mean,
So there's
No
truth in
respect
what
to
the
a legend.
numbers were, but it's an incomplete picture of how great he actually is.
I mean that's one way to put it. That's how Luka fans would put it. I think it's valid.
That's
He has-
interesting
he
because
has
I
been
feel like that's
fantastic.
like the whole basis of Jason Tatum's claim to fame. It's like the numbers,
Don't show
they
it.
don't show the whole picture.
Unless you look at the graphic that said he's one of 4 players to lead his team in points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah.
With Tim Duncan, LeBron James.
Hey,
Jason
shout out to
Kidd
Duncan.
and
It was Jason Kidd?
Remember when they rounded up?
Jason Kidd on there?
They rounded up on a graphic.
Well, it was 4. I don't know if
respect the
Jason
hell
Kidd
out of
was
that.
one of the 4.
I feel
If
like
he
the
is,
picture-
that'd be.
He
think
might
he
be.
did.
He genuinely
Yeah,
might be.
I posted it yesterday.
His runs
I
were
could find
pretty
it.
amazing.
Shout out to Jason Kidd, man. So wait, Dels, can I ask you,
Yes.
talk to me.
Yes.
Genuine question.
Yes.
Did you drop?
I'm a genuine guy.
Did you drop Luka in your rankings?
So it was Jokic, LeBron, Tim Duncan, and Jason Kidd.
Like
Yeah.
genuinely.
Well, I mean, he was
Because where was he before the playoffs?
5. He was
Now
5.
where is he now?
He's probably
8
like
to 10.
probably like 8.
You
Like
need
genuinely,
Jesus
like
Christ.
seriously.
I think
What can change that?
I would
for
take
you?
Wemby over him. I would take Ant over him. And I get it, like a guy like Curry, for example, he's
He's
older,
old,
so I
yeah.
get it. But like in a playoff run, it's close.
Listen. You
Yeah,
look who you're
it's
talking
tough,
to.
man. It's tough.
Did Luka not go to the finals last year?
Well, in a playoff run, I'd take Steph over Tatum too.
oh yeah,
I
easy.
take Steph over 90%
Easy.
of the people.
But I'm
you
also
said.
taking LeBron over all those guys too.
That's fine. So sure, I mean, Luka's 9 now. I mean, that's fine. We can keep doing it. Jalen Brunson, the way he's been playing the fourth quarter, he just had against Detroit.
No, but I think with Curry over Tatum, that's more of an easy yes for me. With Luka, I got to think about it. I don't know if I'm going yes. Actually,
I don't really got to think about it
know.
much.
You're not thinking about that, obviously.
That's me,
But
yeah.
Yeah, you're not thinking about it. But LeBron or Luka, what would you go with?
Luka.
LeBron or
Wait,
Tatum?
for a
For a playoff run right now, same team, same roster.
Luka.
LeBron has been our most complete player.
I'm taking
That's
LeBron.
actually
LeBron or Tatum?
LeBron.
That's
I'm
not a
taking
question. With love to Luka.
That's
With
actually
love
tough.
to Luka. I don't think he's being as bad as Joel is trying to make
Like
it out
LeBron's
to be.
back to being the primary
Ball
guy.
handler. That's exactly what I mean too.
Yeah, because I think I go.
Did
Luka.
you see his usage is third on the team?
And that's why I think that's why I feel like he's been able to play defense like a lot more,
Which
in the
makes
playoffs.
sense.
Yeah.
We need him to play defense.
Well, the big thing I think in the fourth
Got a
quarter,
lot to make up for.
I
does.
just
You're
think
not
Reeves hasn't been as good offensively as he was in the regular season.
I don't disagree. However, we got the best version of Reeves in the second half yesterday, and we lost.
He was 2 for 7 in the fourth,
That's
sure was.
agreed.
and he missed the
first
the
half, it was
game
rough,
tying
too.
3.
But he did hit a huge shot late
He
in the
did.
game.
He did.
did.
He missed the two
But he
wide
missed the
open
wide
ones.
He did
three
miss the
before
wide
that.
open ones, which hurt. But he missed it, made it, and then missed.
But in general, Reeves hasn't been a
100%
a
agree.
plus this series.
But
And then the
he's
second
going
to
up
last
against him.
shot.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not sitting here be like, oh my god,
It's a
Austin
tough
Reeves.
matchup for
It
him.
is. It
Yeah, the
absolutely
second
is.
to last shot was LeBron for 3. Clank.
I'll be honest.
did miss.
If I'm Braun, I'm shooting that
He
shit.
bricked.
he did miss, but that's after 2 possessions of saving our ass.
That
on
possession
defense.
was
What did-
broken,
No,
bro.
no, actually, because I didn't want to do this because I've been defending Luka legitimately since I woke up to right now.
Tell the truth. You just
No,
gotta tell the
I
truth.
really am pissed off at you that you're taking this approach, blaming LeBron for us losing. What the fuck did that fat bastard do?
Cannot.
What the fuck did he do?
Oh my god.
cannot-
In the fourth quarter, what the hell did he do to benefit us?
You can't pin 2 teammates together.
You're doing that.
No.
What did he do? Clank. Clank.
I'm just
what the
citing what
fuck?
happened.
No, what exactly did
What'd he do?
77 do yesterday in the fourth?
I
what?
I
What
just
did
feel
Dell
like
do?
What?
at
He's
the-
been non-existent.
You
for
did
fourth
this.
quarter.
You did this.
No, no,
I
no,
didn't
no.
want to do this.
at the same.
What'd he do?
I'm glad that you are showcasing
Knew
your
this.
true
Knew this was
feelings for
coming.
Luka.
Knew this was coming.
The commenters are seeing. The
I'm being
audience
forced
is
into
going to see
a corner
it.
here, Dels.
Because not
LeBron
only
James saves Luka's bacon on defense.
not only
How many times?
he's getting active, but he
Bacon's
called
a good
Luka a fat B word.
no, he did. He definitely did. He went
these
crazy.
are emotions that he's had internally for a while, waiting to react this negatively.
It's bad.
It's really bad.
Joel,
So bad.
I'm gonna speak sincerely and truthfully. I love Luka. His defense is dog shit.
Do you think
It's
Do you think it's
bad.
the worst you've ever seen? Like any player?
I just feel like I just
far.
feel like you only love Luka because he's on the Lakers and you're forced to love him.
Yes.
I'm not forced to love him.
Yes.
I'm not forced.
That is
he's on your
exactly
team,
what's
you kinda
happening.
are.
I didn't love D'Lo. I liked him
Because he's garbage.
He forced
Exactly.
He forced himself.
Luka's
I love
great.
exactly.
You
I
forced yourself.
love Luka.
Like, there's no way you can watch the team
one of
and
the
be like,
best
yeah,
players.
this guy's not the best on the team.
Listen,
I'm
just,
not gonna
you're not going to
disagree.
love
Well,
everyone on the team, but you're going to love the
on
top
offense,
2
no doubt.
guys, 3 guys.
In total,
We're gonna
still
lie, though.
LeBron.
In totality, the best on the team since he's gone to the team has been Luka.
Yes.
Maybe that's why they're going to be a first round exit. now.
Yes.
He's just not good enough.
The defense definitely by LeBron has made it a conversation.
I feel like
LeBron's defense has been incredible.
you can acknowledge 2 things. I think LeBron is playing the best defense that he's played in a while. He's locked in defensively. He's playing at an elite level. When they were up 113 to 111 and he had that 3-point shot, had he made that shot, I thought the Lakers would have won the game.
What if Luka made any of his 1 for 6 ass fourth quarter last
They
night?
needed that too.
How
But
many layups did he smoke yesterday?
Couple.
his last shot came at the 3-minute mark. The last 2 shots of the game were Reeves to tie it. He missed, and then LeBron
Lucas
for a
has
5-point
also
lead,
not
he
true,
missed.
but DFS. So the play that we're not going to talk about is LeBron's insane block on Dante DiVincenzo that
was
leads
nuts.
to an immediate
Yeah.
DFS 3 that was assisted by who? LeBron.
Oh, of course. Don't remember.
LeBron was amazing. So was Luka. I think both
I'm
of them
not going
played
to
well.
disagree, but I just don't appreciate the clank. That was unnecessary.
He missed a big
because
shot.
then you
Clank was
forced
rude.
me to shit on the guy who also didn't
Here's
produce.
the thing. If LeBron made that shot, LeBron is made the hero of the game. As he should.
deservedly so.
As he should.
Okay.
As he should.
All right, we're
but
here.
we cannot be like, yeah, the defense was great, but he had 0 points in the fourth. Oh, we can't look at that though.
Here's the thing, though. What positive thing did Luka do in the fourth?
he
Can I
was
ask a
still
question?
generating
Can I
the
ask a-
shots.
Can I ask a question?
I feel like
What's
you
the
can.
statement there? He generated shots.
I don't think he had an assist.
all his misses were open looks that he just missed because his legs were done.
But why
were his legs
He
done?
played 46 minutes.
Joel.
So did
Oh,
LeBron.
that's 40.
Shit,
He's
yo.
40.
If I hear another excuse about minutes
not
played,
crazy.
I am
No,
gonna
he played
throw
there's
up.
just
There's
six
no
minutes,
way
bro.
25 years old.
I just can't
He's
believe it.
25.
You're justifying missing open looks?
The looks that he had were
46
looks that he normally makes. He
Because
just did it
I
in that
agree.
moment.
I thought that JJ, he did a bad job with playing his hand. He played his guys too many minutes. Luka's out of shape. LeBron's 40. Yes, you shouldn't have played them the extended amount of minutes. However, you said it yourself, and it's true. We cannot give a pass for great looks.
Luka didn't play well in the fourth.
No, he's been awful all series.
I'm not
before.
arguing that he
Why
played well.
mention LeBron
But
Clank?
nobody played well in the offense in the fourth.
Agreed.
He
Well,
really,
it's 'cause
he
your
really
number
is
one-
just missing.
it's your
open
number
looks.
one
It's
guy
just
on
kinda
offense.
You
embarrassing.
saw it, right?
I'm watching it right now. It's really just open floater. It's embarrassing.
Oh, you talking about Luka?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Well,
He
took
had
a-
two mid-range
He took
shots.
a deep nut ass three though. It was.
It went in and out. That went in and out though.
That's
The
just
three-
far as hell though.
But he
I'll be
makes
honest. I've seen him make
threes.
so many of those.
Now when he misses two floaters in a row, then he shoots that
No,
shit.
the smoking the layups, bro.
He smoked
it
the layup.
killed
LeBron
me.
smoked the layup in the fourth too.
Okay,
did.
One
He
of
did.
his
You're
two
right,
shot
you're right.
attempts.
But question, can I ask a question about that possession? Because we keep saying LeBron clanked it, and he did clank it.
There were 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
No, Luka. No, I watched it. Luka passed it to him with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. It was 6 seconds left. He was already mad far from the 3-point line. Fuck else do you
It
want
was
him
a
to do?
crazy shot.
First of all,
if
why
it
did
goes
Luka-
in, we are.
Haven't we talked
Going
about all year
stupid.
long?
Why
how
Luka didn't just take
LeBron
Nas Reed?
has been a great 3-point shooter.
Because he can't get
But he
past
has-
anybody.
He
He
should just took Nas Reed to the rim. You had
He's
8
got-
seconds.
he's got
But
no-
you
he's
want to
got
know
no
why he
legs.
didn't? You want to know why he didn't? Because a few possessions earlier, he tried to and smoked
He
the
did smoke.
layup.
Yeah, he did smoke
Here's
the
the
layup.
thing, though. I
That's a
think,
tough shot.
I
I
think
ain't- you know.
LeBron.
The LeBron
I think
shot,
that's
it is a tough shot.
I think that's a good look.
But
I agree. He missed.
It's
He
a
missed.
good look for LeBron.
In the moment, I was thinking, oh my goodness.
But are we
is he really
thinking
about to
he's
make
going to
that?
make that because it's a good look or it's just LeBron?
Can we
It's
also
LeBron.
be
It's
honest?
just
When
LeBron.
the ball
For
was
LeBron,
up,
it's a
did
good
you
look.
not think it was going in?
I thought it was
I
cash.
actually thought it
I
was
did
cash.
too, but I didn't like the process of that.
I
didn't
agree
like
with
the
you.
process of that possession.
But he puts it up. It looks
and it's
perfect.
a contest. Like the dude is
I
right
think
he
there.
was
for
right
all
there.
the credit the Timberwolves
Clank is nuts, man.
Deserve.
and the flowers they should get, this game was decided by a couple possessions. And
Yeah.
you cannot
Luka.
make it out to be like it was just
No, but
super terrible.
I know like this whole conversation is basically shitting on the Lakers for absolutely blowing it. But we already talked about on live reaction. The Wolves just took it.
Well, we haven't talked about it because Riv hasn't talked about the Wolves since he's made his game 5.
Oh yeah, people are
Lakers in
commenting
5
some
prediction.
crazy things, right?
Yeah, they have been waiting to hear from you, mister.
Yeah, these people have no jobs and no lives, man. Like that shit
Pulling
is,
a LeBron.
that shit is,
LeBron.
that shit is
You're all
hilarious.
going to your jobs
they
you
just got to
hate.
wake
Bro.
up and they just gonna have to hate their lives.
Somebody told me, somebody was like, yo, bro, sacrifice your sleep. I'm like, nah, bro. But yeah, no, I was wrong. Like Lakers in 5.
What do you think's been the biggest reason?
Too small.
I thought the Lakers defense would be a lot better. By far. I thought LeBron and Luka and Reeves would be clicking at the same time. Felt like they haven't been
Not one
consistently. That's really it. I guess the process to just evaluate Minnesota. That really is just my whole like I evaluated Minnesota too wrong. I think that's pretty much been it. But like they proved me wrong and they're whipping their ass. So like
well, then we're not whipping our ass. The series is 3-1. The
Oh,
games
dude,
have all
it-
been
They look
close.
like the much better team.
it just feels like
They've
they're
been-
punking
yeah,
you
so
guys.
they've been a better
much
team
better
for-
team.
There you go, Minnesota.
I
I'm
can't
sorry.
hear a much better team when the games have been this close.
Well,
Well,
there's
game
been
2 was-
16 quarters. They've been better
Game
for like
2, we
12,
smoked them.
13.
Game 2, you smoked them?
Game 1, did
Two,
they
we
smoke
smoked them.
them?
Game 1, they smoked
yeah.
us. Game 3 was
Game
close
3 and
until
4
it
were close,
wasn't.
yeah.
Game 3 was
Right.
close to like people are like, oh, the Lakers lost by double digits. Be
And y'all
real.
were up last game.
We were up double digits, and JJ was like, "Go ahead, guys, keep going." That was the fold.
Yeah.
When
you
we're
know,
up 12, Gabe needs to come into the game. Vando, I don't care how much of a negative you can spell him in the game for a minute or two. LeBron has always done the I just need a minute 30. I need
Tried
30
to tell you,
seconds.
man. I tried to tell this guy, man.
What should I
Oh,
tell
go
them?
to hell.
Vando, man. I
Vando?
tried to tell
Also,
him.
the last
I tried to
statement
tell him,
I
man.
want to make. Jackson Hayes, I understand, and I said it
What happened
early
to
on
him,
in
man?
this series. Bro, he's
was
not this bad.
most improved player
He's not
candidate.
this bad. He's not this
You
bad.
told us he can
4
start.
minutes a night's crazy.
He's not this bad, and he's not the reason we're fucking
He's
down
not,
3-1.
when he's on the court
not.
with Rudy,
Yeah, he
it's
doesn't have enough
not.
time to play.
But why
even
are
the
you
reason.
taking?
Bro,
I
stink.
promise you, he can give at least a solid effort on the offensive side. You can go and you can screen. You actually have a legit screener outside of LeBron. Rui has become our big-time screener. DFS really has had that job, I should say. But Jackson Hayes, why? Because he gets into early foul trouble. That's it. We're not going to play him the rest of the game because we're so scared of Rudy Gobert. We're not going to play Jackson Hayes
Defensive
the rest
demon.
of the game.
Yeah,
At this point, I would rather see Rudy than Nas.
That's a fact.
That's a
Nas is a Laker killer. He's been
12
awesome.
minutes.
Nas was huge for them down the
12
stretch.
minutes,
He's
8
been
minutes,
elite
9
in the
minutes,
fourth.
9 minutes, 4 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
Jackson
That's
Hayes,
ridiculous. I understand like the whole thing was like, oh, you go small against them. But there's no going small
Five-
because
Their small
Randall,
ball lineup is
Randall
nasty.
is playing great.
He had 5 fouls in 9 minutes. to be
If
fair.
Randall was playing
What?
like yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
If
Hayes
Randall
didn't
was
have
playing
5
like
fouls in 9
shit,
minutes.
then it makes sense. Then you go with the small ball
Yeah, Drew,
lineup.
a lot
I
of
don't
these
know.
games,
I'm gonna lean with JJ here.
Because he has foul troubles?
A lot of-
Because you
No.
just heard the 5 fouls in 9 minutes?
I just think that JJ Redick is watching Jackson
Drew,
Hayes and
he
he's
had a-
probably just taking his hair
But
out.
it's also impossible for him to just go out there
Drew,
and
he
not
had,
foul.
he had a
when-
game with 4 minutes. He had 2 fouls.
I know.
That was last game, right?
Yeah, he
got
just
in the first. Yeah.
he gets in
He
the
got-
foul
he got
trouble, and
attacked, too.
JJ's just like,
Got
nah.
attacked.
Because they're just attacking the basket
Yeah,
and
nah.
he's trying to defend and he's just
Rim
getting into
deterrence.
fouls.
Rim
There's
deterrence,
no rim
right?
deterrence with the Lakers.
And also, the Wolves just have a
There's
better.
none.
The Wolves small ball lineup's just been better.
It's
like
elite.
Nasri
It's
up to
elite.
5, Randall to 4. It's just gonna be better
Yeah,
than
no.
Rui
Randall
and
was mid.
DFS.
I'm be like, yo, JJ, my bad, bro.
We did say this, so like in theory, this is probably the series Randall should
I thought
cook.
Randall was gonna play well.
Yeah.
And I wish it
Should
was
have took him.
it was with the
I
Knicks.
I really hear where you're coming from. Like
guy's crazy.
Minnesota, like process over result. I listened. I went to bed and I left the podcast on while I was going to sleep. I heard you.
What happened?
Process over result. You know. I gave Minnesota their respect. I went with Luka and you should have just went with them.
Why are
Did
you
you hear
saying
the
he's
Jalen Green
crazy?
It's a
segment at the end?
possibility.
No, I was asleep at
That
that
was,
point.
that was why are you saying he's crazy?
Because that's what he was trying to do last night. He was
He's
basically just trying to be like, listen, I told you about Minnesota. I told you how
did.
great of a series.
No,
we had.
when
I told you this, I
Santos,
told you that. I was like,
shout out to Santos.
you picked the damn Lakers, brother. Like,
He sends the super
So?
chat saying, this is now 2 years in a row that you picked against the Wolves, but you've tried to
I
go
thought
ahead
you picked
and...
Minnesota against the Suns.
No. He
No,
didn't,
I picked the
unfortunately.
Suns. And you know what's funny? I felt better last year about that than I felt this year about picking against the Wolves.
Because the Suns
Whenever-
had played well against the Wolves
Yes,
in the
whenever
regular
I
season.
have like these
no, we do
tough
it again
calls,
next year.
maybe I don't know. We'll
He
see
did,
who they
Mike.
match up with.
And then what did he say? And I love that, actually. He said, at this point, I just got to keep it going so the Wolves win.
He did say that.
That made me laugh.
It's the thing when somebody commented on my tweet where I tweeted about how we overlook depth when it comes to star power, and I do that a lot because not only did I take the Suns last year because of star power, I took the Lakers this year because of star power, but a couple years ago we both took the Nets over the Celtics because of star power, because Kyrie and KD.
Facts.
So a lot of times I really do just bet on star power, and the last 2 games that the Wolves have had against the Lakers, they have been close fourth quarter games. If you come to me and you tell me this is the scenario before this series,
still take Luka
they're going to
LeBron.
be in the
You're
fourth
still
quarter.
taking the Lakers.
Exactly, because all the numbers pointed to the Lakers being a better clutch time offense.
crazy, Rim.
The Wolves,
Luka LeBron
Luka has
better
to
than
play
Caps.
46.
It's crazy.
Like, I get where you're coming from, Dels.
Everyone's got to play 45 minutes in the playoffs.
No,
It's
the
gonna
whole
happen.
thing,
Y'all losing me with
the
that. Y'all
whole
losing me with
thing
that.
of what I've said for the Lakers as to why we are so good is that we have had good depth.
Yeah, but you knew it wasn't gonna like prolong the
This,
playoffs.
where you only played 5 players in the second half.
to that
No.
point, to that point, I think in
Yeah, I
real
get
time
that.
we're seeing Minnesota take a step, because right before the playoffs, this is the same team, the same group that blew a 25-point lead to the Bucks.
Yeah, they couldn't beat the zone.
because they couldn't beat a zone defense.
goes
This
on.
is the same team that has a negative record in clutch games, and they have been 2-0 in those games against the Lakers, and they have been better than them in the clutch. There are some things you can't project. And the reason why I took Lakers in 7 was because in those clutch battles, I thought the Lakers would win. But if you go back to the video, I mean, had it not been for me, we wouldn't even spent more than 3 minutes on the Wolves. You said it's more likely that the Wolves lose
say
in
that.
5 than they win this series. You picked the Lakers in 5. And all of the things, all of the bullet points I had favored the Wolves outside of clutch time. But the fourth quarter matters more than any other quarter.
does.
So if you're better in those moments, you should win. Anthony Edwards has been the best player in the series, and that's been the difference. And Julius Randle
That's really
has
for
been
me.
amazing, and their depth has been awesome, and they're just a better team, and they're evolving in real time in clutch games, and they just look much more fluid offensively.
That's a fact.
If you would have told me coming in that Julius would have been like this, I'm a Laker fan. I would have taken the Lakers, but I would have definitely been stressed.
I think Randle is taking such a big leap in his game, and I'm happy for him that he's finally playing well, because I think not only did he find a situation, but I think Cat found a situation in New York. I think it was a win-win trade for both sides, and I just love the way Randle's playing, dude. I just love the way he's playing.
It's a win-win.
Yo, he's funny as hell, bro.
It's a win-win now.
Win-win.
Big Purr. He's back in your good graces, I see.
Now, the Wolves have the Pistons' first-round pick as well from the Knicks.
They'll probably trade that for Kevin Durant.
Maybe I don't think they need to make
pay
a
for
trade,
him?
man. They don't need to make a trade.
Make
And
up your mind.
Dante. Yeah, but I think the best story of the playoffs so far really has been the Anthony Edwards coverage, because after every game, his post-game press conferences, his quotes, they go viral for a reason. I mean, you sent it in the chat, him praising Dante DiVincenzo for his playmaking leap and how Dante is
really
reading
my
things
dog.
and he's listening to him. I just think that for as young as Anthony Edwards is, 23, he's already top 25 in 40-point playoff games. He's one of 4 players to have 5+ 40-point games in the playoffs before turning 25 is Luka, LeBron, Rick Barry, and Anthony Edwards.
Rick Barry's a name.
I think Anthony Edwards is, right now, he's making a case to take the mantle. And
The
if
mantle
he,
for what?
Mantle of what?
best
dude?
young player in the game.
Oh, who's on that list?
You see how he added the young part?
So he's better than SGA.
Well, SG
If they
No,
meet
he's the best. Well, then Tatum still counts in this group.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think Ant could go band for band with SGA in
Is
the
he
conference
better, though?
finals.
Is he?
I don't think he's better just yet. No, I don't.
Actually, he got to keep played his last
I
two games.
was
great.
doing these numbers, and I sent you some of these numbers. I didn't send you all of these numbers, but I was doing these numbers on just
Chat, he put him in.
and in over the last 3 seasons, Luka in 41 playoff games, he's averaging 39 and 7, 57% true shooting, 24.4 PER, 7.8 BPM.
Oh, these shits.
Anthony Edwards in his last 25 playoff games, he's averaging 29, 7 and 6, 59.5% true shooting, 23.9 PER, and 7.8 BPM. He has the same box plus minus as Luka over the last 3 seasons in the playoffs. And Tatum in 32 playoff games, 26, 10 and 6, 56.6% true shooting, 21.6 PER, 4.6 BPM. I think Anthony Edwards, with this series and with his growth as a player, I think he's walked into this tier. I think before the season, he was a little bit behind these guys, but his 3-point shooting leap hasn't just been an improvement. It's been historical
Like one
improvement.
of the best in the game.
He's a top 5 3-point shooter in the league, and that might be underselling it. 40% on 10 attempts.
He's insane.
And
top
he's
3.
also an elite off-ball player. He's improved as a playmaker, and he's an elite defender. Like all the things that point to like a 2-way superstar Anthony Edwards has, and I think we're seeing in real time like him becoming one of the best players in the league, and he's only 23.
There's none. Listen, I've always been a fan of Anthony Edwards. In this series, enemies still acknowledge his game, man. It's hard to hate on a guy like that. I mean,
He took over in the fourth.
He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. The energy that he has on both sides of the ball really is what moves me the most. The fact that he does not give up a single possession. And that's one of the main reasons on top of it, too. Talking about that defense, Reeves has not been Reeves. That was a huge factor for me coming into this series as well. We had the better third option scoring the basketball because, again, I didn't know what version of Julius Randle I was going to see. Was Jaden McDaniels going to keep up the level of play that he's had over the last couple of months? And for Anthony Edwards to go out there, stand face-to-face with Austin Reeves and for a majority get the better of him and then go on the other side and not miss a beat, get by the first defender, get to the second level. It's an immediate bucket every single time. What he's been doing this series has been excellent. Do I have him in top 5 right now? I don't. But
He's 6 at the least.
without an absolute doubt, top 10, 6 at the absolute least. Again, I don't know. There's a lot of great players at the very top.
Are you putting LeBron and Curry over him?
See, that's where I think I'm at personally. But at the same time, I get where you're coming from because, again, he is young. He does have the juice. Right now, you could argue he is the best player in this series with Luka, with LeBron. You have an argument. There is an argument to be made. I won't be on that side, but I'm not going to fight you against it. It really is. He has a lot going on his side.
Yeah, he's number 5 to me. I think this playoff run, he's number 5 to me. Like,
Just
but this is the thing, Riv. Like,
I still am also
like Drew
pro
said,
Wemby personally.
like
But
Drew said, lock top 10. I felt like at the end of the regular season, he was the 8th best player, maybe 9th, 10th
Probably.
at absolute
Yeah,
worst,
yeah,
right?
So like again, like Embiid, I know we forget about him. We don't talk about him. We're done with Embiid.
I think he's still top 10.
We're done
no,
with
Embiid,
Embiid.
yeah, like sure, Embiid's like a top 10ish player, but I mean, he was out the whole year for a guy
think-
that always gets injured.
That's the idea for real.
That is the idea.
Yeah, you almost had a home run opinion. Like that take could have been a home run if you just backspaced Giannis and typed in
But that's
Joel.
why I don't think it's crazy for Ant to be top 5, because if he was already the 8th best player in the world, right, give or take, and we saw last year he was one of the best playoff performers. This year he's backing up being one of the best playoff performers. He's going band for band with Luka and LeBron James. He's improved as a playmaker. I feel like that was really the last thing offensively I need to see for him. He's gotten better. I
been
feel
the
like
series.
game by game this series has been better as a playmaker. So
Yeah.
going from 8 to 5, I don't think that's that big of a jump.
I think you gotta wait. Because I think there's too many shuffling pieces right now.
To put him over who do you have to wait for?
I think it's more of a wait to see just how everybody does, because you have SGA right now who's, has had, I don't want to say up and down, but first 2 games he was all right. Last 2 games he's been pretty great. You got to see how he progresses to see where you drop him or keep him, because he's probably going to win MVP, right? Then you got Brunson on the other side. If he continues to keep playing like this, where do you shuffle and
I
you
just
put
think
him?
Ant's a better player than Brunson.
No, I agree with you, but still in the same sense, like
defense.
if
I think offensively,
It's close.
you can
Yeah,
make the
it's
argument
close
for
for sure.
Brunson.
and then Giannis is still playing at a high level, so what you keep him? Do you
Well,
move him up? You know what I'm
Giannis,
saying?
Jokic, SG, like those,
it's-
some of those dudes are lost.
Like, and then if Ant goes next round and him and Steph go band for band, Steph wins. Now where do you put Steph? Do you put Steph over? Do you drop him over? Like it's still a lot of moving
Steph's
pieces.
been incredible.
Like Tatum. If Tatum goes out and has a Herculean next 2-3 rounds, do you prop him up to top 3, top 2? Like it's still
Yes.
a lot of shuffling pieces.
With
you
the
know?
jump shot, Jason Tatum,
Yeah,
I've
so
always given him his
I
flowers.
feel like the second round is really where we're gonna decide that. We gotta
where
wait
would
to
Ant be
see.
for you right now? You just have to put him.
6-7,
Okay.
6-7,
I don't hate it. I don't.
6-7. I think
He's
yeah.
better than KD. No question.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
putting him over.
KD not in the play. Yeah.
Also, one thing I will say, 8 to me he was definitely top 10, but towards the back end. Like until
Sounds like
this series, was it just unanimous he was better than Anthony Davis before this series?
No.
That's why I say I can understand the leap after this series, because you can argue he's been the best.
It's just when you look at his resume, like in the last 2 years, eliminating Jokic, KD, D-Book, LeBron, and Luka, if they finish off this
Polar bear
series,
in there.
it's not over just yet. I mean, Devin Booker's amazing.
two
Let's
polar
not
bears,
let's
okay.
not disrespect
Devin
D-Book.
Booker had 2 40 balls back to back in the finals. Like, let's respect him.
And if they make
So
it to when they make it to the
Warriors,
second
man.
round, if they beat the Warriors, you're also beating Jimmy and Steph to get to the conference finals. Like if he completes all of that, for a player as young as he is, there's very few players that have that type of resume eliminating that many
Yeah,
stars.
Jason Tatum is one of those people on that list.
How many did he eliminate in his first 5 seasons? I'm not
Well,
asking
just
to jab. I'm
the
asking
22, just the
curiosity.
22 season alone, he eliminated KD and Kyrie. He
then
eliminated Giannis,
Giannis.
and then Jimmy Butler, who's the best playoff riser of this generation.
You're right.
he fucking bodied you just there.
No, I asked him. I was curious.
I think
Everything you asked about Tatum's a jab.
That was
2022,
2022.
honest to God, if they win a championship, he could retire. He might be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even bullshitting.
It's
It
2022.
was going to be an all-time run and an all-time team.
That's right.
Tatum and
Those
Ant.
fuckers gagged it, and I hate Tatum for it forever.
Tatum and Ant is an interesting conversation.
I blame you, man.
Because you have one guy who's like Ant on
I get it.
Ant's case.
Over the
Ant-
last 3 years, Ant has better numbers in the playoffs. Than
yeah, I
him.
think Ant's a better playoff riser, but just Tatum's like total package is kind of it's really
playmaking,
good.
the
Like
defense.
he's a really good all around player. I don't think you can just outright say Ant's better.
He's such a bet. I mean, excuse me. Ant's a
close.
more efficient scorer.
You can make the
and
debate
that's
Ant's better,
not
though.
close.
Ant, I think, is a better scorer by far.
I
Like,
think
I don't
Ant's a
think
better scorer,
it's easy that you
no,
can
he's
say
a better scorer.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I think
Ant.
Ant's a better
Yeah, yeah.
scorer.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's easy for you to say either or that Ant
I
is
agree.
better than Tatum or Tatum's
I
just
agree.
way better than Ant.
I like Tatum's versatility in his game. He get like the things we were asking of Ant-Man to do, and he's finally doing it. Tatum been doing all that
For sure.
for like the last 3 or 4 seasons. You know, he's
agree.
been that consistent jack of all trades. He may not have an elite trait.
He's 3
but-
years older too. 3 seasons.
Yeah,
older.
yeah. I mean, like you can't. What you telling me that for?
But
We're
like
comparing him
round
now.
23, 24 is when I feel like the playmaking started getting better.
at this point, where was Tatum in his career? Was that the 2022
That's
finals?
when he was in the finals.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just age 23 season.
That
24
2022 season was
Yeah,
special.
no, that was. There's no
And
doubt.
then like Tatum was drafted, and they went to the finals immediately. Well, ECF immediately. So it's just different paths, you know. So it's a tricky slope.
I love Ant,
Wolves-
man.
How things could be different if he wins that chip in 22. I think he's one of the most loved players in the league. You could argue the most loved.
Yeah, that shit was never
The
happening,
Wolves
bro.
in 31
You
seasons.
get KD, Kyrie, Giannis, Steph
People
in one
people
run.
are still gonna
Yeah.
hate on it.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
no,
Yeah.
no.
No, excuse me. They're not gonna hate on that run, but they'd hate on Tatum because they always like.
That's one of the like most unrealistic what ifs ever.
If he wins that
In 2020,
championship,
he was never winning that shit.
bullshit.
Never
How
win that shit.
favored were the
Nope.
Celtics?
Nobody was.
He
wasn't
was a
beating-
Jimmy Butler
that's-
3
he-
away from not getting out the ACL.
He wasn't beating that locked in stuff. He just
Cooking.
wasn't.
He was
wasn't.
the MVP first
Yeah, he
ever.
was.
Larry
First
Bird
ever.
MVP.
Can't forget that.
Oh,
That's
The
when I was
Wolves-
in, man.
18
Take me
playoff wins in 31 years, 15-5 with Ant.
from poverty to good.
If they make the conference finals, he'll have more playoff wins in 5 seasons than they've had in their franchise
history. That's nuts.
Yeah, Minnesota was dog
That's the
shit.
problem, man.
Yo, add Rudy Gobert to that list.
Gobert.
Yeah, high key.
Gotta
No,
add-
Gobert has been changing. He's a big impact to what they do.
I'm be honest with you. Rudy's making me pay for all the bad things I've said.
Alex
about him.
Caruso over him.
If you're watching this episode right now, make sure to drop in the comments that Jason Tatum is not a top 5 player
What the hell is that about?
because he's not a top 5 player. And you keep pushing him over Luka, and I don't like it,
Pretty
Dels.
disrespectful.
Jesus Christ.
And while you're dropping that comment and talking some sense into Dels, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel.
Alex Caruso has been amazing.
It's fucking enough.
He
Enough.
has been amazing.
Yeah, but enough.
He's been amazing.
Enough.
And he actually plays in the fourth quarter. Unlike Rudy Gobert. Shush. Next name.
Matchup too.
Luka shouldn't.
Oof.
But here we are.
I love how we were going to say we're doing the NFL stuff, and then we just talked about NBA for.
Because NBA is
Talk
inevitable.
about the
man.
Lakers.
But I want to ask you guys this question because it's been trending, and we didn't get to do it in the pre-recorded stuff that we did.
100
Oh,
gorillas.
but,
100
people.
men versus one gorilla. Now, before I did extensive research
I
on this
spit on a
topic,
gorilla.
and I didn't do that much extensive
Gorilla's
research,
destroying
just
you.
watching more
I
videos.
want him to.
It actually would do anything it wanted to.
I feel like
love
it
it.
just depends on the humans that we're talking about. If you're talking about 100 of me's, I think I'm getting smoked. I am getting smoked.
Swimming
It's not. It's, yeah.
You might
It's-
run.
yes.
A whole 100
I'm
of you.
I'm getting done up. But if you're telling me you give me a combination of like Shaq,
Let's do.
Brock Lesnar's,
Let's say it's 100.
just the most Mark Henry,
Mark Henry.
this world's strongest
100
man.
Mark Henrys.
You guys think 25 Drews, 25 me's, 25 Joels, 25 Dells, we win?
I think we're
so.
losing. I
We're
think
still
we're
getting smoked
bodied.
out?
We have zero chance.
I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah, we have
You
zero
have to be
chance.
coordinated when you do this.
Let's
You
go.
can't if you just get him 100
We
dudes
have
running this
25
quarterback.
of him.
What if we
We're
had
cooked.
2022 Dells?
What does that change?
That's the 3 years ago. You're smarter.
So you were smarter. Like,
I'm
that
still
changes a lot.
I'm not,
Like,
I might be smarter. I'm not destroying a gorilla.
none of us are. But the point is, we'll be more cordial with our attack.
We're
So
cooked.
how many people would you realistically need if it's not 100?
I think it's 50 great men.
50?
Yeah. I believe in us.
No.
Even if we
Like
don't believe
powerful,
in us. Like powerful.
men.
Like we have 50 Francis Ngannou's. I think there's a chance.
All right. You
Like, he's a
you
specimen.
have to have two of them. Like two of all of those guys. Like if you gave me two Ngannou's, two Brocks, two John Jones, I would contemplate it and I might still take the gorilla.
Give me 2 Mike Tyson's prime, and we
You're
in there.
tripping.
Bro, no.
We're in there, bro. No, one gorilla. No, I'm not buying that.
I don't think
Gorillas
you
are
understand.
insane.
Gorillas are
I'm not buying that.
so
bro.
much faster than us.
So are we.
So much stronger
It's
than us.
100 of us,
Can
bro.
climb.
me
Can
see.
jump higher than us. They can literally do everything times 100 better than us.
A gorilla is so strong that as soon as it grabs
motherfucker big.
as soon as it grabs a hold of your arm, it could break it.
And also, you
Let's ask ChatGPT.
you got to understand what they're willing to do. They're also willing to bite you and eat you.
We have to be
raw.
willing to do the same thing.
But
Our
your
teeth
bites
will
aren't doing
not-
nothing
yeah,
compared
Have
to
you
theirs.
seen what their teeth look like?
We don't
a
have the
hunter?
teeth to bite into them.
Nah.
You don't think Mike Tyson has the teeth to bite in him?
No.
No.
Evander Holyfield's ear is not the same as a
That's a
gorilla.
dangerous man,
A
bro.
gorilla's skin.
Can 100 men, great men.
100 Brock Lesnar's.
Yeah, let's ask that. Can 100 Brock Lesnar's beat a gorilla?
Again, that would be my only way I even think about it.
Do we think Brock Lesnar can fight though?
He can
Yeah, he was
wrestle.
in the UFC.
Bro,
He was a UFC
Bro,
champion.
he was whack.
he was a
still in
champion.
the UFC.
He was a champion.
Man,
Was
He
he
did
champion?
get done up by
Frank
Vasquez-
Mir beat him. Cain
Vasquez?
Velasquez.
Cain
beat him.
But
Velasquez,
if,
yeah.
even if you get to the UFC, you are like top 0.001% of fighters in the world.
Yeah.
All
You
right,
are.
so he's ChatGPT. If you mean, look, first of all, I said, can 100 Brock Lesnar's be one gorilla? ChatGPT said, this is a wild and fun question! Exclamation. If you mean 100 Brock Lesnar's, quote, each one with Brock's real strength, speed, fighting skills, etc., versus one gorilla, then yes, 100 Brock Lesnar will almost certainly beat one gorilla.
ChatGPT is
But look,
smoking dust.
Here's why. They broke it down.
I like the why.
A silverback gorilla is incredibly strong, up to 10 times stronger than a very strong human in raw strength. It can lift about 1,800 pounds and has bone-crushing bite force. Damn. Brock Lesnar is a freak athlete, NCAA champion, former UFC, blah, blah, around 6'3", 280, extremely fast and explosive. One-on-one, Brock would have zero chance the gorilla would overpower him. But 100 Brocks, that's an army. They can swarm, grab, punch, tackle, and eventually overwhelm the gorilla from every angle.
100 people, like, how many Brock Lesnar's would it take to completely, like, take over a gorilla? So, like, 7 Brock Lesnar's and you can't see the gorilla anymore?
20. I think 20.
That's what I'm. That's
5 on his
we lose
legs.
a 30
5
early.
on, no, 10 on his legs. 5 on each leg. 5 on
5
each
is being
arm.
nice.
And then I think maybe another 5 to get on his neck.
See, but again, if he just hits you with one of
We're
the
losing 30
Donkey Kong
fast.
spins,
30 fast.
He hit you with a Donkey Kong spin. He could take out a calm 25 just like that.
Does the gorilla have any weapons? Like, can he, like, pick
No.
some huge branch or some shit?
Humans don't have weapons either.
Look
So
at
this
his
is just
teeth.
one-on-one.
They gave me a
hand-to-hand
whole
combat.
breakdown. So it said, do you want me to break down a step-by-step battle scenario? It could be hilarious. I said
ChatGPT
yes.
is about to run us to the
So
ground.
phase 1, the approach. The gorilla is minding its business. Suddenly it sees 100 angry Brock Lesnar's charging at it. Gorillas are very territorial. This one isn't running. It roars and beats his chest to intimidate. 10 Brocks rush first. Bad idea. They die. Smashing 2 or 3 of them. Phase 2. First contact. The first 10 Brock Lesnar's try tackling, punching, and grabbing. It's chaos. The gorilla uses his massive arms to swing and hurl them. About 5-6 Brocks are dead. Phase 3. Group tactics. Now the Brock gets smarter. Instead of small groups, 30 Brocks surround the gorilla. Some
That's what
goes
I'm
for the
talking
leg,
about.
trying to trip it. Others jump on it, grappling and pounding. The gorilla is still tossing people off like it's nothing, but it's starting to get tired.
Oh, didn't take the stamina into effect.
Phase 4, swarm attack. Another wave of Brocks charging. 50 plus engage at once. They manage to pin one arm to the ground. Some Brocks are trying to rear naked choke. Won't work well. Gorilla necks are too thick. Others are hammer fisting.
See, that's key information.
Yeah.
Phase 5, the takedown. After about 5 minutes of brutal brawling, they trip the gorilla on its back. Half the Brocks pile onto his chest and limbs, using their combined weight to hold it down. A few are targeting vulnerable spots. Phase 6, the victory. After a long and messy, brutal fight, the gorilla is either incapacitated or dead from exhaustion, injuries, in the swarm. About 30 to 40 Brocks are badly hurt, possibly dead, and a few might be just a little bit hurt, but 100 Brocks win.
I feel like in order to accomplish this, you need everybody to have no empathy whatsoever.
Facts.
Because as soon as you see 30 to 40
You're definitely
done,
out of here.
Die.
I'm out
you
of here.
might start
I'm out
losing
of here.
confidence.
You see the first 10 get dropped in a blink of an eye. How do you feel good?
No, 20 are running. Immediately. Nah, this ain't it. I know. Because I'm running. I see one get kicked. I'm like, this ain't really my vibe. I'm out of here.
Now, I think if you have 100 like powerful, ultra freak athletic men, I think yes,
We need, like,
it is possible
100
that you
super
can get it
soldiers.
done.
Like 100
But
caps.
100 regular
caps?
dudes
I'll
on
take
the
100
street.
caps.
I'll take 50 caps.
You should ask ChatGPT if it could generate a
Video.
video of that. That'd be funny.
Can you generate?
You have ChatGPT Plus?
No, I do not. This is all off the dome. Free.
I'll tell you what, considering that is free, ChatGPT went well above
Yeah,
what I
it
thought it
did
would
its
give
thing.
us.
It really did its thing. It's a fun question.
That is a fun
Where did
question.
this stem from? Like, I saw it was online.
Oh my
but
god, it's
In
huge
all the
right now.
AI generated videos I see of this battle scenario,
Gorilla always wins.
they do, but for some reason they always make the gorilla like 9 foot tall. Like it's always like 10 foot tall.
That's a gorilla.
No,
no?
the tallest gorilla is 6'5".
In the world?
Yeah,
Really?
the largest gorilla ever recorded was 6'5".
Yeah, 9 feet seems crazy.
6'5"?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Dell's.
Yeah.
Lock in Dell's.
So
I feel like a gorilla would be bigger than me, though.
one gorilla,
think
Dell's
it's the way they
height
sit
that
or
is
Yeah, no, they are.
thick.
It is
You know what I mean?
6'5".
that boy neck.
Oh my god.
Every
Every
episode.
time.
That
And you
boy-
have no case.
A gorilla neck thick. I'm looking at this picture right now.
What happened to the case, bro?
I just don't like it. I'm not a big
Yo,
fan.
gorillas look scary too.
They are scary. I want nothing to do with it.
I see a gorilla. I'm just gonna
Better hope it doesn't see
say
you.
a prayer.
This is a man.
I give a shout out to anybody who interacts with wildlife and does it for a living. Some people are very passionate about looking at animals and stuff.
R.I.P. Steve Irwin.
I saw this video the other day of this like just tourist, and a gorilla is just walking by him and then just starts pounding its chest And at any moment he could like take him and just fucking.
Oh, is it a group of people?
Yes.
I
At
think
any
I saw
moment he
that.
could just take him and flick him. But
Yeah.
you have to be really brave to be in that scenario.
Who do you guys think would win between 100 lions and 100 gorillas?
100 gorillas.
I think
It
so.
depends, male or female lions.
100.
Whichever one's the strongest.
100 gorillas and 100 lions.
Yeah, I just looked
Oh
in
no, the gorillas
ChatGPT.
easily.
They didn't give me this whole ChatGPT's lit. They didn't give me this whole breakdown and shit. It's actually
I feel like gorillas are more made to fight. You know what I mean?
I feel the lions lay down all fucking day.
But that's the thing. The male lions really aren't about the smoke.
Yeah, it's the women that go out and.
That's why if you told me
get shit
100
done.
female lions,
ChatGPT said lions would narrowly win.
yeah, I don't.
Narrowly.
I get it.
Narrowly. Suffer
get it.
mad casualties though. Massive casualties.
I get it. I mean, ChatGPT.
I'm putting the line at minus 150 on the gorillas.
So they say,
Minus.
so look, the
Gorillas are
categories
favorite.
are raw strength, gorillas, speed, lions, killing ability, lions,
Yeah.
intelligence, gorilla, teamwork, lions.
Yep. They move in herds.
My worst fear is seeing one of these animals in my face in person.
Well, I mean,
You ever been to the zoo?
stay in New Jersey, you won't have
That's
that
why,
problem.
bro.
No, I haven't been to the zoo, but I'm not scared of like seeing them in a cage. I think that's fine.
This
but
is going to be the
no, in
longest
wild.
podcast ever, but I don't care. I've been watching Love on the Spectrum, and Abby and David, those are like the two main characters of the show. They go to Africa because that is like, it was Abby's dream. She wants to go to Africa. She wants to see lions. She wants to see the wildlife. One of the cutest things ever, David's like, surprise, we're going to Africa. I started to tear up. It was beautiful. So now they're in the wildlife safari. They're looking for the lions. They're looking for all the wildlife. They see Pumbaa. They're talking about the Lion King, and they finally see their lions. But that's real. Like if you want to go to see all this wildlife, you have to go to Africa and you have to go through the safari, and you kind of have to be willing to do some scary stuff. At the very end of the season, though, it was one of the cutest things I've ever seen. The two of them just break out into a cappella singing The Lion King in Africa.
That's sweet.
It was so fucking sweet, man. It was really cool, but that's what brings it on to me because they really went to Africa. They saw all these crazy ass animals, hyenas, giraffes. That was really cool to see too. But I would like to see that too. I don't know how realistic or in the near future that may be, but that is the only way you get to see these animals outside of the zoo. Like in their natural habitat, like actually doing regular lion activities, not being drugged out, not being zombies. Yeah, you got to go to Africa.
I'd love to be able to pet like a lion or a tiger or something.
Yeah, you're diabolical. Why?
Like knowing obviously
you're gonna be
that
okay.
I'll be okay. You know, that'd be awesome.
That's
It
the
would
risk
be.
that you take. You just don't know. I'm not willing to take that risk.
I get it. I don't know if I would take the risk either.
I saw
don't
this
know
video of this dude putting his back to a lion, like trying to chill, like, be cool. And the lion came up from behind it, paw right on his neck. The owner comes in, smacks the hell out of the lion. Lion backs up. The dude gets up, walks away, has the giant paw print, holes in his neck from every single claw.
Yeah,
It's kind
I
of
believe-
crazy when
yeah.
you think about how non-threatening humans are compared to actual wildlife animals. We have weapons, and that's how we get around.
We have
and
this,
we have a brain.
We have this, and we have weapons.
Yeah,
That is it.
That's why. But they're far superior. Like if they had our
Oh,
brain
if
power,
they took away all of our
We're done,
technology,
dude.
we have no chance.
We would be ants.
yeah, if
had
they had
brains,
our
we're
brain power,
fucked,
we
bro.
would be.
We would
done up.
literally be ants. We would
You
be
ever seen
insects.
Planet of the Apes, dog? You give a monkey some brain, bro. Just take over the world.
Give a gorilla against
What the
100
fuck?
men.
They got gorillas with the suit on, the guns. You scared of a gorilla with a gun is crazy. Like at that point, I'm done, bro. I want no smoke with
Yes,
you, bro.
Caesar.
Like, yeah, like
Yes,
you got
Caesar.
it, dog. Like you could do whatever you want to me.
Oh my god.
It always has to go.
This guy's got
there.
a thing, man.
It always has. He does.
He's got a
He does.
like it's a kink.
I didn't have
almost,
to
you know,
think
like,
that far.
What do you mean? You literally said it.
You're a submissive guy. I think at heart you're a submissive guy.
Yeah, I am, man. I like to get. Feel me?
I don't have that sort of passion for those animals. I like dogs a lot, but I don't even have a passion for dogs.
gonna
Even
say.
even big dogs scare me.
Yeah, you do hate what's his
Sparrow.
name? Sparrow.
He
facts.
hates to clean up his shit.
Yeah, no, I just don't like cleaning up after animals, but I don't have the passion to just want to go to the safari. I'm good if I never see it.
Do you know what's incredible too? You guys probably can't hear this. They are making such a loud noise outside. If you hear it, sorry.
They
Apologize.
probably can't hear it. I'd be surprised if they couldn't hear
That
it.
is screaming.
Yeah, that's so
I
loud.
always get so impressed when I watch back the pod and like very obviously there's noise outside and you never hear it.
Yeah, they sometimes they do a lot of work on the weekends, and it'd be like 8 in the morning, and they're doing construction.
All right, last
Just
one.
hates
They always
it.
got something going on.
100 Cheetahs versus 100 Panthers.
That's a
Panthers
good
are the
scenario.
fastest.
Fastest versus a little
Do
bit
you
of a,
think
you know?
that
Excuse
the,
me, cheetahs
the
are fastest.
best boxer in the world could beat a kangaroo in a
Kangaroo?
fight?
No.
Kangaroos could punch.
And they hit. It's,
Yeah, like
and they can use their feet.
they jump and shit.
Yeah,
They
they're
can use
kind
their
of
feet.
tall. too.
They
I'm
are
gonna say,
tall.
like if a kangaroo is on go mode, like he really wants
Like
to
Floyd
hurt
to
you,
get packed.
I think you're cooked.
Like Floyd to get packed. Pretty
Yeah,
pretty
for
fast.
sure, for sure.
You know.
He's lighter though.
Yeah, facts. He's probably
Think of like
But
a-
he's our best boxer.
Like Mike Tyson in his prime, or the kangaroo.
Kangaroo like 6'6". Mike ain't that tall.
Mike isn't that tall.
Mike,
I
like,
think our
probably
best
is.
shot
if
is
Mike,
Muhammad Ali.
connects with him one time real good, I feel like he can knock him out.
He got to get close. You get close to
Have you
Kangaroo.
ever seen the video
we need,
of
we need somebody
a
like
guy
Tyson Fury height.
saving
like
his
that.
dog and punching a kangaroo in the
Yes.
face?
Yeah.
Shout out to that dude. He took a chance. He took a gamble. He paid off. His dog's alive. That kangaroo was
get
ready to have
another
his
dog.
way with the dog. What happened?
I'll just get another
crazy.
dog.
I mean, are you trying to save your dog if a kangaroo is posted
I'm not
up?
I
hitting
would
the kangaroo.
try. I'm not
I'm
gonna
not
let
hitting
my
the
dog just
kangaroo.
die.
Hey, sometimes you got to cut your losses.
I would.
If this
I'd
is
be
a-
hesitant.
If
I'm
this
not
is
gonna
a,
say I
if this is
wouldn't
a
be.
dog that you have for 5 years, you're super attached, you love it. It's your
I'm
best
gonna
friend.
sit there and literally get on my knees and cry.
I'm gonna scream.
he's dumb.
I'm gonna try like, "Yo, get out of here!" Type.
Like on
You're
the
not gonna
kangaroo?
try to go and punch it.
No shot.
I don't know if I
going
want to.
I'm thinking someone's got Henry around the I'm going. I got to.
This ain't
No,
somebody.
someone
This is a
and
No.
something.
Yeah,
Obviously, regardless, someone, something.
Yo, I'm gonna be real,
Unless-
Dells. You a real N.
If it's like a fucking gorilla, okay. You know, like, I don't know what you want me to do, but a
Like a-
kangaroo, at
like
least
a-
I have a somewhat
you know
of a
what?
chance.
Let's look at the kangaroo's measurements, man.
They're huge.
I'll be honest, bro. Outside of like my son, everybody's up for game. Bro, I'm good, man.
I think that's a fair statement to make.
Like, cause I have to. That's just I'm gonna get looked different. I don't go out there
No
trying
doubt.
to save my
No
son. So
doubt.
I gotta go out there
You
and
would-
force myself
Yeah,
to save my
you'd
son.
be
Force?
sick. No, it'd be like you'd be sick, but you're like, oh,
I'm
God,
scared
do
as
this.
fuck. Like, here we go. Come on.
Yeah,
Like,
no
gotta
lie.
feel me?
I understand where you come from. That's sincere.
Give
That's
it a little
honest.
2-piece and start on the
Ask
kangaroo.
if prime Mike Tyson versus a kangaroo, who would win?
All right, because a red kangaroo is 6'7".
Oh, wow.
That's huge.
Big guy.
Yeah.
200 though. About
Yeah.
about me.
Typical. Yeah.
6'7", 200.
Little skinny.
Damn.
Little skinny.
I mean, he's
Damn.
fast with it. Yeah.
He's lean.
All right, so you said kangaroo versus who?
Prime Mike Tyson.
The best version of Mike Tyson.
Like-
Versus
I feel like Mike might get him,
prime
man.
Mike Tyson. The easy kangaroo is only 6 feet, so those are the ones you're probably thinking of.
Yeah, I've never seen a 6'7" kangaroo on camera.
So, kangaroo versus prime Mike Tyson. This is one of the craziest, funniest matchups you could imagine. Let's break it down seriously. Mike Tyson in his prime, only 5'10", 220, punch force estimated 1,800 PSI, which you were talking about. God damn, Mike. Red kangaroo, 6'7", 200 pounds. His weapons, sharp claws, devastating kicks, 800 plus PSI. Comparable to a small car crash.
Damn.
Balance on tail and kick with both legs at once. That is nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they said Mike has no shot.
Damn.
There's no shot.
50-50 in the boxing ring, though, they said.
Okay.
I
Oh, so
get
you're
it.
saying street fight.
Yeah, overfield kangaroo wins. Yeah.
I get it. I really do. I do. Okay, so this last thing we could just touch on with the NBA. Will Giannis finish his career in Milwaukee? It seems like all the signs are pointing to no. I think 3 of us on here think it's a no.
I don't think Giannis is finishing 2025 in Milwaukee, let alone his career.
I'm crying. I don't know, man. There's just a part of me that I couldn't look at Milwaukee the same if they move off him. I
What if
understand.
Giannis asks?
Which he will.
Then I get it. However,
72 to 33.
I'll say it again.
72 to 33.
The better
my
question is there
God.
any reason for him not to ask?
No,
I think
the
he's
answer
done
is
all
no.
he needed to do
There
in
is
Milwaukee.
there is no reason. I just think if I'm Milwaukee, I couldn't live with the idea of saying, Giannis, we failed you so much so that we have to trade you. I get it. They won. They won a championship. And if you're Milwaukee, you take that to the bank because you're a small market team. Obviously, you took a shot on Giannis and it paid 30 times more than you ever thought that it would. I couldn't live with myself if I traded a player like that.
Now, is it a failure if they ended up winning a championship?
No,
it's a
I'm
failure.
not saying it's a failure. I wouldn't say it's a failure.
A lot of disappointing years, though.
I just think
Injuries.
that, like, if this were, I'm not saying Giannis is Braun. I'm not saying he's Braun, but like in terms of what they mean to their respective franchises, like
get it.
obviously
Yeah,
LeBron
for
means a
sure.
ton to the Cavs. Giannis means a ton to Milwaukee. Like, do you think the first stint Cavaliers, if they had the chance to be like, yo, if LeBron went to them like, yo,
They keep
trade
him.
me,
They keep
would they have?
If he asked,
If he asked them, would they have traded him?
I think they try their hardest to not.
It was also a
At
different
31
era.
years old.
Correct. That's the fairest point. That's the fairest point.
We see it all the time now. KD, Giannis. We
I
see
think
Jimmy
second
Butler.
stint is definitely more realistic. I'm talking first stint.
But first thing, he left at 26 in his prime.
Who was
Yeah.
younger? Yeah.
If he is 31 years
He left for
old
free
and they
agency.
won once,
He did.
I
And
think
also-
you think about it.
yeah, if Giannis is like, I'm gonna leave, my contract is up in 2 years, it would be silly to not move off.
All right, so let's talk about the second stint Cavaliers. Would you move? Would you trade LeBron James second stint? No.
No, because they were going to the finals every year.
True.
Plus,
the Bucks aren't getting out of the
like
first
you
round.
mentioned, Giannis' contract is up in a year or two. He doesn't have to sign that extension.
I made a ton of trade packages. The top 7 teams in
guys are
odds, according to just this random website I saw, were the Heat, Clippers, Pelicans, OKC, Golden State Warriors, Knicks, and the Rockets. I have a trade
Golden State?
package.
We can get in there?
I have a trade package for each team. You
These,
can,
Drake
these,
could
these
go.
betting odds know nothing about second apron or
you
CBA.
can grade it. You can grade the trade package
Jimmy could go.
A to F. It is what it is. The first trade,
Uh-huh.
it's the Miami Heat. The Bucks receive Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, Jovic, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez. The Warriors' first round pick in 2025, a 2026 first round pick, a 2028 first round pick, and a 2029 first round pick. And the Heat get Giannis, of
No.
course.
No.
It's just, yeah, I mean, the package is headlined by Khalil
4
Ware
picks.
and Jovic.
No. The headline is the 4 picks.
Yeah,
Four
I mean,
picks
I'm
and
thinking of the
Khalil Ware.
players, but
That's because the players he named, I was so turned off that I want nothing to do with this deal.
that's
What's the grade?
I mean, for the Heat, it's an A plus.
For the Heat, it's lit.
I'm just gonna do these because I assume all these teams would say yes.
It's based on the Bucks' return of things.
Yeah,
What's the grade?
this is a C minus.
See,
All right.
the only appealing thing is Khalil Ware.
This is the best the Heat could possibly do,
Yeah.
unless Wiggins is in the deal. But Wiggins, he's
You
not
wanna
a
try to
young
keep him.
piece.
Yeah.
Portland still has all the Bucks picks, upcoming ones from the Dame trade. I'm
Portland
assuming.
got a lot.
It's
Portland
actually
could make a
not
move.
all the Bucks picks.
Let's say they got moved around since
The
then.
Pelicans have 2 Bucks picks.
Okay.
They have the right to swaps. So the next trade, the LA Clippers, the Bucks get Zubats, Norman Powell, Derrick Jones Jr., a 2025 first round pick via OKC, 2029 first round pick, a swap with the Sixers. They have the right to swap. A 2031 first round pick and a 2031 first round pick.
This is a C plus.
This must be Milwaukee retooling.
This
Yeah.
is a C plus. I say C plus because you get better players than what you're getting from Miami. That being said, I think right now what we're seeing from the two of them is their ceiling.
Yeah, I'd almost rather the Heat just so I could bottom out though. Like I love Zoo and Norman Powell. Like these are good players, but they're good players for contending teams. This isn't.
Fact.
I mean, you're gonna have obviously no Dame next year. Like
Yeah, if I'm
you're
trading,
just gonna be a 9 or 10.
if I'm
seed
trading
probably.
Giannis, I'm trading to get worse.
Like I want to be the worst team in the league when I'm trading Giannis. This makes you still kind of contender. So
And also with each team, I'm gonna name the new teams, the team that traded for Giannis starting lineup, and you grade the lineup. So for the Heat, I didn't mention it. I'll mention it now. Hero, Wiggins, Giannis, and Bam. That's the big 4.
who's the other starter?
They're not gonna have a lot of depth.
Giannis is
anyone else?
Giannis. I mean, with respect to Bam and Hero, he's carrying.
that spacing is nuts.
I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Yeah, that's a good line. I'm trying to think like where they would rank in the East.
Giannis and Bam back
I would
front
say
court
they
is
could
OD.
be. I mean, like they're ceiling. They could probably be like
I
3
mean,
seed.
Giannis is playing the 5 now.
Yes, but like on defense, he could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but like we
Clippers-
said, the spacing is a little.
It'd be Harden, Bogdanovich, Kawhi, and Giannis.
You know what? I'm chatting. Bam, Giannis
No,
obviously,
defensively, you're gonna have one, maybe the best defense. in
and
the league.
with Spo,
yeah,
this
Just
might
you
be an
don't-
A.
you just their starting lineup's really good. It's just
they're
minimums
first in
behind that.
odds.
This might be an A.
The
They're
Heat are
first
probably-
in
the Heat
odds
are probably
every
first
year.
in odds exactly for
Never
every
have.
player that's been up for grabs.
The
Yeah,
Clippers
B plus
is
was stupid. Truthfully,
Harden, Bogdanovich, Kawhi, and Giannis. They don't have any center after trading.
That's
Zubats.
kind of cool.
Say it again. It was Harden, Kawhi, Giannis,
Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich, right?
No center though, you said, right?
No, they probably have to find one.
A.
So I mean, yeah, you got you got Kawhi,
Giannis,
and
Kawhi,
Giannis.
and Harden.
This is a great lineup. Yeah, because you actually have a co-star next to Giannis in Miami. You don't really have that. Like shout out to Bam, but I don't know if he's a co-star.
The New Orleans Pelicans, the Bucks would get Zion, DeJounte, Jordan Hawkins, Matkovic, which is their backup center, who he played just as well as Yves Misi. A 2025 first round pick, 2026 and 2027 Milwaukee Bucks swap rights.
Oh.
So now the Bucks own their 2026 and 2027 first round
Getting
pick.
those back would be huge.
This is the best return.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's my favorite package so far.
And
This
the
is-
Pelicans would have McCollum, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Giannis, and Misi.
It's a fun five. Again, you're missing a co-star, and maybe Trey Murphy could turn into that the way he's played this season. But I think for the Bucks, this is like an A. You're getting a star player back in Zion, even though we all question what he can be, how healthy he can be. But you're getting someone that has shown if he's healthy, he could be a top 10 player. Plus, you're getting your picks back. Plus, you're getting a couple of intriguing players. Jordan Hawkins, young player. This is the best trade by far. This is an A if the Bucks are able to get this return. And that starting lineup is really good too. This is probably like a B plus starting lineup in the West. I don't know, they're not championship favorites, but they're a team I think we're looking at is minimum getting out of the first round.
Hey, look at what the Pelicans were able to do last season when Zion and BI were healthy. They were one of the better teams in the league. Now you have Giannis, who consistently plays 60, 65 games every single season, which is already 30 times better than what Zion's giving you. This probably would be an A minus.
And the 2025 first that they have is going to be a top 8 pick in this draft.
Yep.
So they'd get a top 10 pick in this draft and their 2 picks back with Zion.
It's a great
There's
haul.
some upside there with that team. OKC, the Bucks get Hartenstein, J-Dub, Isaiah Joe, first round pick from Miami 2025, 2027 first from the Clippers, 2028 first from Dallas, 2029 first from Denver.
I'm going to say the hot take. I hold on to J-Dub. I trade Chet.
It could be Chet or J-Dub. Either or I think works.
If I'm OKC, I understand the idea. Chet and Giannis. Oh, my God.
Screaming at that.
But Hartenstein would have to be in the deal for contract
money
purposes.
purposes.
For money purposes.
So you'd be trading Hartenstein and Chet.
Which is tough. It is tough.
This is A plus for the Bucks. This is if you trade Luka, this is the package you're looking for, right?
Type deal,
it
no
would
doubt.
be out of the world if Milwaukee could reset. You get a young player in J-Dub or Chet, getting 4 first round picks. A couple of them are valuable. What do the Clippers look like? What does Dallas look like?
You have to trade Hartenstein.
He's making $33 million. Everybody
brutal.
on
no one else really makes
OKC
money.
isn't making much yet until the extensions kick in.
I'd give up Isaiah Joe in a heartbeat.
Do they have money?
For Giannis.
OKC?
Yeah, they'll have money left over.
But I'm asking
Well,
you.
when they get Giannis?
If they were... Yes.
No.
Because they'd
They
have 3
probably- no.
maxes. They'd
Especially
have
once
who's
they
the
pay
3
Chet.
maxes?
SGA, Giannis,
Chet will have to
and
get
then
paid
Chet or
eventually.
J-Dub would...
And the starting lineup for OKC would be SGA, Dort, Aaron Wiggins, Giannis, Chet, Caruso, Casey Wallace, and Topic.
it's amazing.
best team
Still a good ass team.
Yeah.
That would be it. The Warriors. Now, it's impossible to do this trade package without Draymond Green being involved. It would be the Bucks would get Draymond, Moses Moody, and Buddy Hield.
Oh, this is an F.
A 2026 first, 2028 first, and 2031 first.
Yo, Dre, my brother, you done brought us some
This
chips.
is the best the
You can
the
fucking
Bucks
go.
could possibly get from the Warriors, unless AirPods is involved in some sort of way.
What if we move Jimmy instead?
Oh, I don't hate it.
It would be the 1-for-1 swap with the picks, but it makes no sense for Milwaukee.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna say.
I mean, Draymond don't either.
He doesn't.
He might make
but
the
what
win,
they
lose
can
some
do,
games.
what they could do if that were to
Buy
be
him
the
out and he
reality,
comes back.
100%.
Buy
I would
out
say
Jimmy?
buy him. No. That's
They
not
come
what
back
I'm
to Golden
saying.
State.
Jimmy's making...
No.
They're not going to give him
No,
40
it's about Dre. It's about Dre.
They're not buying
oh.
out. I think what they would do is they would flip Jimmy again.
Oh, they'll flip either or. Yeah, definitely.
You flip Jimmy again because then you get whatever picks and then you get more picks.
Playing in Milwaukee, like Draymond Green, he's gonna lose value playing in Milwaukee.
The Warriors, I think their package is an F.
Oh, it's dog shit.
It's the most.
It's actually-
I like the Jimmy though. Jimmy, 3
If they want to
first,
retool,
and then Milwaukee
But
can
I would
trade
flip
Jimmy,
Jimmy,
get
yeah.
2 more picks maybe.
Then-
Then you
Name
could
it
really
Jimmy.
bottom out.
They'd have to flip him
That would
right away.
buy him out, and
actually
then he
intrigue
comes back.
me.
They
Golden
could flip
State.
Draymond too,
I'm
though.
buying out Jimmy Butler's $15 million contract.
Not like Jimmy though.
Jimmy's contract is hard to trade. It's harder to trade than Draymond's.
He Dre's at like 28.
Jimmy's so much better.
He is, but he's making like $56 million.
He deserved it.
He's amazing.
I just think the Warriors,
points.
like Steph, Jimmy, Giannis, I think could win a chip.
Oh, it's sex.
Steph, Draymond, Giannis,
Still can win a chip.
It could win a
not
chip.
as much as Jimmy.
Brother,
and
it's
Giannis.
Steph.
Bro, this
Giannis,
team
bro.
right now with Jimmy Butler, we think could be a dark horse contender. They get
Steph and
Giannis instead of
would
Jimmy.
do things to me like, oh my god, the way you
Steph-
were acting with Luka and LeBron, brother.
Steph,
this is-
Jimmy, and Giannis.
That's a
Oh
movie.
my God.
Those are reports that the Warriors want to get that big three:
That'd be
Giannis,
fire.
Jimmy, and Steph.
bet
But
they- I bet
Draymond
they
would not
fucking
be
do.
able to stay.
He can go. For Giannis, he can go.
Franchise legend, man.
You don't
franchise-
deserve him.
Okay, you want him?
No, you don't deserve Giannis
Oh,
You
that's
don't
fine.
deserve
I
Giannis.
don't, but I'm
Why?
gonna get him.
because he hates Giannis.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
RTX.
So
I'm
this
gonna get
next
him.
trade package,
Hey, I hated on Luka and I got him. So
The New York
Maybe
Knicks.
that's the wave.
Here we go.
The Bucks get
You guys still
Cat
trying, huh?
and Deuce McBride.
So you're gonna give up Cat after what he just did for you?
It's either giving up Cat or
He
giving
would
up.
drive him to Newark Airport.
It's either giving up Cat or giving up Mikal and Josh Hart
Okay.
and all the first.
And this is Cat and all the first.
You
Cat,
guys still have
Deuce, and
first.
the first. 2026 first via Washington. It's protected somewhat,
Yeah.
but the protections fall off after year. 2026 first from the Knicks. 2028 first round pick is a swap with Brooklyn, so the worst of the two.
Yeah.
Or, 2030 first. So the Knicks actually have like 4 first round picks.
Oh, shit, nice.
Yeah.
They're not that valuable because one is a swap and the 2026 Wizards one is 1 to 8 protected.
See, the thing with the Bucks, if I'm the Bucks, like in terms of the Warriors and the Knicks, I don't want back no big contracts and no primetime players. Like I want young players or players that are old, like Draymond Green, that are probably gonna expire. I want to get worse. I want to get really, really bad, so I can like get some top picks.
Like the Nets.
Exactly.
The Nets did a great job.
They did an amazing job. Like I don't want to be sitting here. I got Cat on the books for $60 million.
because I don't know if teams are going to be lining up to get Cat for
Cat
60
or
a
Jimmy.
year.
Jimmy's gonna be like 38 at
That's
that
the
time.
major problem
Cat's
with
amazing.
a
He is,
Giannis
he
to
is.
one of
Just has
these
to be the right team, you know.
contender
It's
trades.
OKC or Houston. Like it's some young teams with
I was
young
gonna say you
players.
got Houston on here.
Yeah, the last team I got is Houston. The Rockets. Well, let me name the lineups by the way. The Knicks would have Brunson, Mikal, OG, Giannis, and Mitchell Robinson.
That's fire.
Team's nasty.
With Hart coming off the bench.
Mitchell Robinson's a question.
He can come off the bench.
He's
Giannis
playing
at the
now,
five.
though.
He is.
He is playing.
He is.
Warriors, obviously,
My
Giannis,
God.
Steph,
Championship.
Jimmy, or Draymond.
Guaranteed.
So the Rockets trade.
We'll get the 5.
I did hear that. The Rockets trade Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Cam Whitmore, 2025 first round pick via the Suns, which is going to be a top 10 pick, 2027 first round pick via the Suns again, 2027 first round pick with the right to swap with the Brooklyn Nets. Either if it's more favorable, they can swap. 2029 first round pick, they have the right to swap and pick between the Mavericks or the Suns first round pick.
I mean, that's a whole, like, the players I feel like would go there and be directionalists, and none of those players turn into anything crazy. They could be good role players, especially like Jabari.
This is basically what you described.
But the draft picks are sex.
Yes.
Draft picks are sex.
That's what you described. You want
exactly.
middle of the pack role
Bring
players.
in Jalen Green. We'll see what we can do. Yep. Bring in them.
He can
I
take
think
25
I
shots
say middle
a
of the
game.
pack role players and Jalen Green.
The hang up with the
A
Rockets
potential
is
star in Jalen Green.
Potentially Michael Jordan.
the hang up with the Rockets is if they're gonna trade Jalen Green or they're gonna trade Şengün.
I have a question. I love aiming to death.
He has been.
Hey, it's his first time.
Also,
does
he
that
just can't play
matter?
offense, unfortunately.
He's playing Golden State, elite defense.
Yo, he's been really bad.
Hey.
Yo,
I'm not-
he's been really bad.
I'm not. I haven't disagreed
All
with
right,
you.
good.
I'm just throwing a lot of excuses.
He's what, 21?
Hey, he's young. He's young.
Yeah,
time
that is
in
your
the
boy
playoffs.
too.
In defense, he's been great.
He has his offense is putrid.
I'll say this:
A man in the deal.
if you are Houston, and they call and they're like, "Fuck Cam Whitmore, we want Amen Thompson," do you say yes?
Do I
We
need to
want
give
just
up all
Amen.
those picks?
We want Jalen Green and Jabari, 3 picks. Knowing what you know now, men's offense is going to need some work, especially in a playoff setting. Now you're bringing in Giannis, so
don't
men
know.
really has to up the offense even more.
It sounds good, but the Rockets, I don't think they become contenders.
I think they need a men's defense.
They need a bet on the ceiling. He's a top 3 defensive player.
No, he's a top 3 player in the world to me.
Because their lineup next year, if they do this trade, Reed Shepard starts. I think he's going
What?
to start in a second. Reed Shepard.
Starts?
Yeah.
Oh, guaranteed.
I think Fred VanVleet's gone.
But we think Reed. Oh, because my fault. Jalen Green's gone. Yeah, go ahead.
Reed Shepard starts with the men, with Brooks, with Giannis and Şengün. That's the 5. And Tyrese comes off the bench.
I think Reed might come off the bench.
They need a
Who would
point
start
guard
for them?
because right now
Yeah.
they don't got a point guard.
Amen.
Amanda started the 1.
Well, no,
And
they
I
haven't.
agree.
He hasn't been
Whatever
starting.
you're gonna say, Joel, I agree.
But then who would be the 2? Brooks?
Yeah.
Shit, honestly, they'll have to get some more. They'll probably still have money,
I mean,
right?
Reed was
Wait,
the top
wait,
3 pick.
Why
Yeah, but you going to start him?
is Tari not startable in that lineup?
Giannis
I
is
just
at
feel
the
like with
4.
the men and Tari,
Spacing's
And
already a
Brooks.
little,
Tari can
little
space.
questionable.
the space in this.
They're still
questionable.
going to have money, though, with that deal.
You know what? I'll be honest. Like, I feel like, even though I made the trade, I feel like they should do whatever it takes to keep Jabari. He is just a
He's a good
perfect
player.
100%.
complementary
I think
player.
Devin Booker's the guy for them.
100%.
He'll
Or
cost
KD.
less.
Yeah, KD would
Because
cost
they
a lot
really
less.
need it too.
They need a
Or
bucket.
KD's the
Outside,
guy.
no, excuse me,
You
let me
just
not say
give the
that.
Suns one of their
So
picks
sorry,
back.
Jalen.
I'm
I'm
so
sorry.
It's okay. Devin Booker's
They
an
need
immediate
a, they
upgrade.
need a one.
They need
They need a
they need an
one.
upgrade from Jalen Green. It's Devin Booker. Immediate upgrade.
But I
Can
think,
you let him grow?
We have.
He's 24.
but also this
not a-
is
he's
if
younger
you-
than
if
that.
you-
He's
if you
obviously
make a
not a
trade,
grower.
if
He's
you make a
younger
trade
than
for
that.
Devin
He's a shower.
Booker, you're kind of going all in with that team, and not that that's wrong, but I think KD, it's you get the best of both worlds where you don't have to go all the way in, but you still get a championship caliber piece because you go all in on Devin Booker, you're gonna have to give up those 3 first-round picks. You're gonna give up a young player, and
But you'll have him longer.
you will have him young
I'm okay
longer.
with that, bro.
Are we just set in stone like Devin Booker be the best player on championship team?
I think you're waiting on the
He
other
could be
guys to
close
kind of
to
come
it
up.
with the proper
I think
depth.
I agree.
And I think they'll have. Well, let me not say they'll have that, but they're waiting for that.
He's
we
2
not
games away
disrespect
from winning
Devin?
the finals.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I get what you mean. I understand. I understand the sentiment. I do. I really do.
I get where
genuinely
you come from
understand.
too, but Devin's one of them ones.
No, Devin's great. It's
One
just
of them ones is fake nuts.
like-
Well, he's just as good as Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell's on a contending team.
Why the hell do you have to
He's
always
cooking.
bring up
He's
Donovan
cooking.
Mitchell?
Because
Can you
they
cook? Can you
are
let him
similar
cook?
tiers.
Can you let him cook?
Okay, like sure, he's just as good as Donovan Mitchell.
He's better.
Do you think Donovan
Cool.
Mitchell?
Devin Booker.
Do you think Donovan
He's been
Mitchell could
better
be
like
the
2
best player on a
years.
championship
What are you
team?
talking about?
Yeah, in a perfect situation, which is
What
what he
he
has
is
right
right
now.
now.
I
Yeah.
think that's what Booker is too.
This isn't a perfect situation.
if the
No.
players progress and develop, it could be.
Who? What are we talking about? The Rockets?
Yeah.
I got it.
But still,
Mike
like
Son.
Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, like they don't have that yet.
Are we not like no trolling, projecting, aiming to be better than Devin Booker?
Who's doing that?
He
Who's
could
doing-
be.
I'm
could
more
be.
asking Dels. I'm really asking Dels.
Well, I
I
mean,
know how we feel.
we've
I
done
know how
would
we
you
feel.
rather's, and people
Never
were saying
brought
could
up
be.
Devin Booker.
You don't
He's
think a man
28.
could be a top 10 player?
No.
Oh, top 15? That's what Booker is.
Yeah, that's a fact. I should have said
That's-
15.
Am I
Because
crazy to say no?
No, but I don't think you're crazy to say yeah.
I feel like we have to see a man take a major leap offensively.
For sure. But I don't think you're crazy to say.
But you've
oh,
seen the flashes and
yeah,
what he brings
like,
you have-
defensively.
you
You
You're
have-
see
definitely
it.
not sitting here like if he's a top 20 player. You're not sitting here like I'm surprised.
No,
Kinda like
that's his ceiling. That's his
Yeah,
ceiling.
I
for him,
see
yeah.
it.
He
Devin Booker's
he could be all NBA player. That's what Devin Booker's basically been in speak.
There's just a lot of things that you have to project with the men reaching that top 10 ceiling.
sure.
The
Devin's
shooting
one of the best scorers in the
and the
league.
playmaking
He's
is
one
the
of the
big
best.
two.
I
Yeah.
want- Am I going? Maybe I'm gassing it. Is he not one of the best scorers this game's ever seen, Devin Booker?
ever seen.
Yo, to start a career, no bullshit. There's the
70-point game.
I think we've seen
that
some
too.
guys.
No, to start a career, I want to say in their first
Think 6.
100 or no, not 100 games.
Oh, it's that Kobe stat.
It's LeBron James, it's Kevin Durant, it's Devin Booker for like earliest in their career to get to X amount of points. Like Devin Booker really was on that level.
He's one of the best playoff performers too. In his first 31
What
games,
can
in
he
the
do on
playoffs,
offense?
He was
Scoring
top
the
15 in
basketball.
points.
He's a good player.
And he's a great post player too.
He's a good player. I don't think anybody's disagreeing
Best
with
score
that.
I've ever seen. I don't know if I go that far.
I didn't say the best scorer. I said he's
One-
one,
one
of,
of-
one of the best scorers this game's ever
yeah,
seen.
yeah, yeah.
Is that crazy?
Well, with the
I think- no, no, if I'd
Rockets,
say that. I
with the
don't know.
Rockets' elite defense, if he could just go get the buckets for them, I think that's valid. I think he needs to be on a team where he's not sharing the
me look at the my
responsibility
stats
with
to make sure I'm not
Kevin Durant, where he's just all the time.
I don't think Devin
kill
Booker
mode.
is in a playoff setting like against elite defense could be your primary initiator too. Like I don't think he could be that.
You need help.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think he can do that in that type of setting.
But if a man can become the ball handler and initiator that we think he can be, you could be there.
we're,
you know?
Devin
here.
Booker was so close to winning a championship.
He was. Till they lost 4 straight.
I mean, yeah, sure, it's the Bucks.
Chris Paul also dropped off a cliff in that series.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
He was so close to winning the championship. You could say that. So was the Heat.
it's just Devin Booker's like, I don't know. Has he gotten better from that point? Like, do we rank him
He's-
higher?
he's
Like, I
28.
think he's gotten better as a player, sure, but like, I feel like other players have surpassed him, or like when we looked at Devin Booker the way in 3 years ago, he's kind of the same now.
Youngest players to 10,000 career points.
That's incredible.
LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kobe Bryant, Carmelo Anthony, Trace McGrady, Giannis,
I'll be honest.
Devin Booker,
That list lost flavor when you named a couple polar bears.
Tracy and Carmelo.
You don't even
no-
like Tracy.
There's no polar bears there.
Polar Bear feels crazy.
McGrady's not a polar
I mean,
bear.
there's
Y'all
like
went
LeBron
from
and shit, but-
LeBron, Kobe, Tracy McGrady.
I mean, Chase McGrady was on awful Magic teams.
Yeah, they were up 3-1.
Respect Tracy McGrady.
They were up
The
3-1.
rosters were terrible.
You're up 3-1. I don't care if your roster's
Devin Booker reached 5,000 points. He's the 5th youngest to do so. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, I will admit, that's the one.
Hey, nothing wrong
You
with
have
Dwight.
to do that. You have to have the green light from day one.
And then he was
He
on
definitely
some
did. He
dog
had,
shit.
green light, yeah, he had a green
Chiefs.
light for sure.
He had
But
2
it's
40
impressive,
balls in
though.
the finals.
He had
It's
a
impressive,
70
though. I mean,
ball.
I think the sauce on
And he
Devin
had
Booker is definitely
70.
getting
Thank
lost.
you.
He's an
You
elite
know what I
scorer.
mean? Like, we can't forget what he's
a great
given
scorer.
us.
He's a great
and
scorer.
I feel like there's a part of that at this table right now where we're forgetting what he's done for us.
I fall in line more with what Dell said, where if you're getting Devin Booker, you have to trade way more than to get KD. I would just
Yes.
get KD.
Because you get
But
KD,
no, wait,
it
but
doesn't work
Phoenix
2
is
years. Let's figure
asking
it
for
out.
the same price they got for trading KD.
They're not going to get it.
Yeah, but that's what they're asking for.
I
And,
think-
and Phoenix has shown me that they're willing to say, we'll sit.
If I'm the Suns, 2025 first, 2027 first, give me my 2 picks back. That's the deal. I don't
That's
even.
it?
I don't even need players back, bro. I'll be
No, I
honest.
think like a Cam Whitmore. Like
Yeah, you
something-
gotta get
a little
some
sweetener,
young
you know what I
player
mean?
back.
Get
Seconds.
Fred VanVleet sign and trade, bring him back.
No,
for
you
me.
can't just be in Phoenix rocking on Ryan Dunn as your best young player.
Well, that's why you got a top 10 pick. You got to draft well.
You got to get something. Like Cam, even if it's Cam Whitmore, you got to get something. Like some young player.
I don't
some
know.
of
The
some.
Rockets are about a finesse because of the Suns.
They have their picks,
Cam
yeah.
Whitmore, I think, will be in a deal for
Yeah.
sure. Maybe if it's Cam Whitmore, Fred VanVleet,
And 2 firsts.
and exactly, I think
first
that
firm.
could be the deal. That's
Cam Whitmore,
firm.
yeah, 2 firsts. I think that's valid. You bring in Cam, she's like, all right, what we got here?
And then you have KD, the go-to bucket getter. And I
Yeah.
think he fits in.
You get
Just
like
then
two
go
years
score.
Just
KD?
think about how much Jalen Green would grow next to Kevin Durant.
Jesus
Who's
Christ.
the leader on this
possibility.
team?
Without a doubt, 100%, amen.
It
Oh,
also,
I said Ime.
Ime would
Dylan
go
Oh,
first.
yeah, for sure.
It also means that Jalen Green's going from 20 plus shot attempts to like maybe 14.
Do we know
might-
that?
no,
I don't know.
Like with
Jalen-
Jalen Green's game, do
We
we know
think
I was
that?
gonna
that
say,
Jalen
also,
Green
do
is still
we know
taking
that he's
20.
doing
I've
that?
seen Kevin Durant just be like, all right, I'm cool with 14 shots a game, and I'm still
And I
going
know
to give it
Jalen
25.
Green probably like, I don't give a fuck who he is. I'm going to get a bucket. Like,
He's so
I
cool,
don't know if
man.
he's dropping his shot for
This next year,
anybody.
Jalen Green's breakout year officially with Kevin Durant.
All right, so now you're
I
seeing
mean,
the
he
vision.
raised Devin Booker's stock a lot since
did.
he got there. Yeah,
I
No,
felt like
no,
Chris Paul did that.
I'd argue opposite.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, I listen. I want to see Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in better situations. Personally, I think that would make the league a lot more fun.
Should we bring KD to LA?
Oh God.
How much health does Luka need, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, would it be dope? Not gonna say it would be.
I'd be high.
But
You could
let's-
get Nick Richards.
I wouldn't be mad.
You'd be better than Jackson.
Say
Hayes,
take any
probably.
Oh
big
God,
Yes.
he's better than Jackson is.
Oh my goodness.
But starting
hey, I thought we
caliber-
were getting more out of him too. I thought maybe a calm 15 minutes. Nope, can't get that.
So,
Been a tough series.
so you really don't lose in this.
JJ's
scenario.
losing me.
For what?
because
he's
like
losing
Luca's
me.
playing
Jackson?
great. Lakers losing.
Luka's
but
not
Minnesota-
playing fucking great.
I'm acting him for him.
Luca's averaging 31
Look,
on
see,
61% true shooting on Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, he's putting up 27%.
Jaden
field goal
McDaniels is an
percentage in the
elite
fourth quarter.
defender.
This
And
reminds me
Luka-
of that
He
series
fried
um,
Jaden last year.
against the
I know.
Clippers when
He
Luka
was an
was
elite
great
defender
from
last year.
quarters
James elite
one, and then
defender, but now elite defender against Luka.
slowly.
That's because Luka is
That works.
Luka.
And then when Kawhi started guarding him, it just
If he
got quiet.
guarded
Bad
Tatum
matchup.
for an entire series, you would see what's up.
Tatum's putting up 30 against the number 2 defense in the league.
Who's guarding Tatum on the Magic?
And the number 2 defense in the
Hey,
league. I don't wanna tell
Orlando's
you.
been scrappy.
Don't
man.
do that, Joel.
Defensively,
Respect
they've been
Magic's
scrappy.
defense.
Who's guarding him though?
whole
Donovan
team.
Mitchell killed
Who's
him.
his primary matchup? Let me
they
look
don't-
that
they
up.
don't
Let me
bring
look
that up.
at Tatum's primary matchup on defense.
It's probably
Dels, who would you say it is? Number one.
France.
I don't know.
or
Yeah, I
Banchero?
mean, it's one of the 2 big.
I'm guessing
or
it's
2
gonna be
big
one of the
wings.
two.
It's
And-
probably
See
probably
Isaac on him a
Pablo?
few
I was
times.
gonna say,
Isaac
but
for sure,
Isaac
but he's
really
not-
not playing that
Yeah,
much.
so it's not like he's getting 30 minutes.
I'll be honest, a lot of those guys don't need 30.
Franz Wagner has guarded him for 16 minutes. That's the most
Oh, so
of
that's
the
why it's
matchup.
food.
He's shooting 45% on Franz. He's shooting 55% on Paulo. He actually has been guarded by Paulo in 7 minutes. He's taken 20 shot attempts compared to 11 versus
He
Franz.
sees Paolo.
He does.
He
Yeah.
says,
No, he does it every he brings the ball at top of the key. He's at the free throw line. He sees Paul. He's like, all right, let me start over. He goes, let me go kill.
Against KCP, he's 0 for 4.
Oof.
Against
are we
Wendell
here?
Carter, he's 4 for 16, 25% from the field.
Wendell Carter's the
see
Tatum
that.
stopper.
because he's taking step back dumbass threes. I guarantee you.
No, but I mean, come on, bro. These defenders ain't nobody's on the level of Jaden McDaniels here.
Number 2 defense in the league says
Well,
otherwise.
team defense.
Team defense
Team
matters,
defense,
man.
it does matter.
Jaden
Big
will
ass
lock
team.
Tatum.
He won't lock him, no.
Of course not.
Like what he do with Wiggins.
Tatum
did to
will
him?
struggle more against Jaden than Luka struggles
I mean, you've
against Jaden.
seen what Tatum's done against the Wolves these last couple of years. I don't know.
Tatum has killed. He has killed the Wolves.
It's not been in a playoff moment.
If the
You
Wolves
could say that.
if the Wolves get to the finals, maybe we'll see it.
I'm hoping we get the battle of the duos.
Hopefully.
Jaden and Ant. I mean,
don't wanna
proving
see
that
it.
they're the bigger duo. They're the better duo.
Okay, we'll see.
Dude, what?
I mean, KD said that.
Yo, Jaylen Brown got to lock the fuck
they got
in.
KD, we got Jaden
Bro, when
McDaniels.
Tatum was hurt, who backpacked?
Thank God.
He
'Cause I saw
did.
this
He
play-
backpacked
'cause
big.
I saw this play on Twitter.
And that's
thought-
on you too, bro. Because I know you've been sleeping on Jalen.
You said you were box
Jaylen
score
Brown.
watching that game.
I was, but I went back and watched.
Okay, because I saw this highlight of Jaylen Brown trying to dribble. He turned it over, and I thought it was bad.
He
You saw that shit,
he
right?
does, still do that from time to time.
Listen, man, we don't want to see that.
You were wrong.
Who?
You don't want to see a Wolves
No, that year I
Celtics
was right.
finals?
I'll tell you what, Jaylen Brown was
No.
locked in against Paolo last night.
No offense.
What about Wolves Cavs?
Paulo struggled.
Nah, I want to see Cavs OKC.
Oh, you don't want to see the Wolves?
No, that's wouldn't be my preferable pick. I'm sorry.
If the Wolves go to the finals, I wouldn't be upset.
yeah, I just
I would only be
pick,
upset because
Cavs, OKC.
my Lakers lost.
Like,
Wolves in the finals would be dope.
is that like your number one pick? Like you want that versus them versus?
Well, now that
Wolves
Luka's
versus-
done, yeah.
For
Wolves-
sure.
Wolves
I would
versus
love
Cavs?
for them. I would. Yeah, I think they could beat the Cavs.
Well,
Really?
Riv, Luka, another first
You
round
know the Cavs
exit.
beat the shit out of them twice.
I think they have a better chance against the Cavs than the Celtics. Is what I
Really?
should say. Yes.
Okay.
Who? The
The
Wolves.
Wolves.
Yeah.
I mean, you also said Luke and LeBron offensively, you would take over the Cavs, and we see how that looks.
Yeah,
So
no, it doesn't look
you
that
know,
good.
you've just been nonstop
I think it's also
disrespecting
because
the Cavs.
KP is telling Rudy, come here. And then now Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown could do what they want.
It'll be tough. I think the rim protection
Unless
that the
they're playing
Cavs
zone.
have would be tough because Mobley and Jared Allen would be there
I ain't never seen no shit
most of
like
the
that.
times. Yeah, but
Twin
you know
Towers,
the
baby.
perimeter defenders in
Last
front
time
of
you seen
him,
it, Dallas.
Mitchell and Garland and Max Strus in front of
He
him.
got one up against
That
Nurkic
is
last year.
Korean
and
barbecue.
Jokic.
That's we want you, but Cleveland.
That is
wants
unlimited
you,
all day
Cleveland
eats.
wants you to think that's Korean barbecue, so they can
No, it
send
actually is
they can
against
send
Garland.
them to that big man that just won DPOY, and he could stuff that shit.
That you guys didn't think would win. It's a shame.
the Celtics have both. though.
Draymond was minus 21.
Yeah, FanDuel robbed people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He did not deserve
Listen,
that
Minnesota Cavs.
But the Celtics have both. They have the perimeter defenders and they have rim protection.
and doesn't he play well against the Celtics?
He does.
He does. I mean,
Listen,
he's going to do his thing against anybody.
you know what I'm saying? But
Against anybody. It don't matter.
I hope that team show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what's Jane gonna look like? What's Jane gonna look like if there's a rim
Jalen
protector?
McDaniels?
Yeah.
They
A
gonna put-
mismatch on Mitchell or Garland?
Oh,
Come
I
on.
was talking about Boston.
Oh, that's
sorry,
a
you're
tougher.
talking about Cleveland?
Darius Garland
That's a
is
tougher
not
matchup.
guarding Jaden McDaniels.
They always get switches. Always get switches.
Nobody's fucking worried about a Jaden McDaniels switch to win a game.
I can tell you
With all
what.
due respect,
You are throughout
Be careful what you say.
throughout,
Luka's
multiple, throughout multiple possessions in a game.
Darius
Jaden's
Garland
gonna
is
get
dead.
his.
It puts in more effort on defense than Luka. Facts.
Oh yeah,
He's
everyone.
not
knows.
a
So
better
much
defender
facts.
than him, though.
We don't even know that if that's true or not.
No,
Wait, what's the
it's
statement?
100% true. That Garland is a better defender.
That's
than
not
Luka.
what I said. He switched my word up.
Oh,
I knew he was going to do
both
it.
true. He's better. He gives
I
more
said
effort. He's a better
Darius Garland
defender.
puts in much more effort on
He has
defense
to.
than
He's
Luka.
6'1" versus a 6'6" guy.
Luka is 6'7".
Luka's the worst defender in the world.
Luka is the reason
stop
Jaden's
with
having a
that?
career year.
Trey Young exists.
Career playoffs, I should say that.
Please give me Trey.
Jaden
Young. At least he
McDaniels
tries.
was having a career season. Since February, he's averaging 18
That's
plus.
not a career season. That's 2
No, it's
months.
most definitely he's having a career year.
He's
career
having
stretch.
the best
Career
year of his
stretch.
offensive career.
Yeah, he just
for
had
sure.
30 in a playoff game for the first time in his life. Guess who was guarding
That's
him?
also because he's gotten much better.
Guess who was guarding
They
him?
also have no rim protection.
Guess who was
And he's the
guarding
biggest
him?
dude on the court.
Guess who was guarding him?
Luka has guarded him in some possessions. He's also done great against other defenders. in the
Jaden
series.
is blowing past the white boys, with all due respect to them.
Yeah, but he also has a great arsenal of mid-range shots and post-ups and being able to hit that short mid-range shot. I mean, Jaden McDaniels' offense has grown a lot.
All I'm saying is this. The Cavs defense so much better than theirs. So much
It is.
better.
No,
Like,
for
like,
sure. No
so
doubt
much-
about it.
so
No doubt
much
about
better
it.
than theirs.
It's
No
just that
offense.
front line isn't that good.
What, you mean the backcourt? Oh, you talking about for them or Cavs?
The Cavs, the front line, meaning I know what you mean.
guards.
Front
Yeah.
court, front
Backcourt,
line.
yeah.
But
No,
their
yeah.
but their front court is so nasty.
So like you don't have like it's like the front court is probably arguably best in the league.
I think it is best. in the
Also,
league.
Ty Jerome, playoff riser.
absolutely.
Yo, talk.
I can't wait to fly to Cleveland.
He promised.
I promise you, I'm rooting for the Cavs to win.
Oh, dude, we're gonna win. Like,
I
you don't have to worry about. You see how they look?
They're still them.
Like they're struggling with Orlando.
I'm starting to. OKC is like,
Yeah, no, there's a reason why we
You
just
see how everybody's
we've been on the
struggling?
Cavs.
it's true.
Like,
What
dude,
happened?
You struggle.
There's
for
a
2 games.
reason that we've
you
been on the
struggle for
Cavs.
3.
Are you back on the Cavs?
I might be.
Oh no!
Let's wait till the conference
No,
finals.
no, you're not back. You can't come back. No
Why
shot.
not?
No, stay where you're at.
Hey, that Pacers Cavs matchup, that's gonna be fun.
You were so
fun
disgusting, and you know why? I allowed you multiple times to come back. I gave you, and Drew knows, I gave you multiple
So many
opportunities.
times.
So many
So many
opportunities
times.
to just stop being rude and jump on the train.
But that's his thing. You
And
know he
ju-
loves
but
to be rude.
I kept, you know what? Maybe he's just being an asshole. Maybe he's just being an asshole.
Yeah.
And you continue to be an asshole. So you know what? No, you cannot come back. No.
I wasn't ready to commit at that point.
Matter of fact, pick the Pacers.
They have a chance.
Good. Pick them.
I might have to right
Pick
my
them.
wrongs
It's-
and
Pick
picking the
them.
Bucks.
I want you to pick the Pacers. Pick the Pacers. You pick the Pacers.
That's going to be a tough
You
series.
pick whoever you want. You pick the Pacers.
Halliburton's
tough
averaging
series, yeah.
16 and 13, but I'm telling you, his offensive
That
impact
is
is so
fucking
elite.
ridiculous.
Why
that
do
you
we
do
just
that?
why did we
No,
ignore 13
because we
assists?
love to throw the numbers. Ant's averaging 30. Luka's averaging 30. SG's averaging 30. Here comes this 16-point per game scorer in this beautiful offense that everybody's
That
eating
was
in.
Steve Nash.
Everybody's stop disrespecting Steve Nash.
That
Stop
Steve Nash would
disrespecting
tell
Steve
you
Nash.
himself that
Stop
Halliburton's
disrespecting
similar to
Steve
him.
Nash.
He's fake cooking.
No, it's a different era, different
He's
time.
poor man's.
Different
Can
era,
he be poor man's?
Different era.
Can he say
different
poor
time,
man's?
Nobody's
different
comparing
era,
Tyrese to Luka
different
and
time.
SGA.
Can he say
Different-
poor man's? Can he say poor man's?
Yes, he
All
didn't say
right.
that. He didn't say that.
All right, would you say poor man's?
I want to
say
hear him
this
say
to
that.
Steve Nash.
I want to hear him
He
say
did
it.
say
Yeah, I
verbatim.
want
You
to
can't
hear him say
Why
that.
You
can't you
can't call
level
Halliburton
ever?
poor anything.
He's a two-time MVP.
What
He's a
you-
fucking poor man,
Riv,
Steve Nash.
what you're acting like-
He's Mike Conley.
Oh,
Now we're
he's
getting-
a better,
He's
way
a
better
better
than Mike
offensive
Conley.
player than
How?
Mike Conley.
Why?
He's
Tell
a
me
better-
why.
He's a better
Tell-
playmaker. He's
Okay.
a better shooter.
Really?
Yeah.
Mike was a shooter.
He
Yeah,
was.
but
Halliburton's
he's
the best.
giving you
Who's a
some
better
value.
scorer?
Halliburton
Then
still
Who?
than Conley.
Nah, I'm not. I don't
Conley's
feel
career
that.
high was like 21 a night.
What was Hallie's?
I'll be
21 a
18.
night.
Or 21. Okay. I thought it was
For a
20.
year?
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm taking Hallie with all due
He
respect.
just-
No, I didn't
Yeah,
say.
I am too.
I didn't say who's taking who.
You called him Mike Conley.
He's
That
a
was
Mike Conley
nuts.
right here.
But Riv, you act like in the era that Nash played in, we didn't have 30-point per game scorers. The year he won MVP, Kobe literally averaged 35. LeBron was averaging 28.
Halliburton did average 20 back-to-back years. Mike Conley did twice in his career.
We've always had high volume scorers in whatever era. Steve Nash won an MVP over high volume scorers.
But I think it's a difference. I think
There's more high-volume
Steve
scorers
Nash
now.
wasn't a high volume scorer, not because he couldn't do it. I think it's just more because he did it. I don't think Hallie can be a high volume scorer for a season.
He did it for 2 months. It was
what
awesome.
do you? What I don't get what you mean that Steve Nash he could do it, but he didn't.
Steve
do
Nash
It.
openly talked about how the reason why he didn't take as many shots as he wanted to, because one, he waited for the playoffs, and two, he wanted to get his teammates involved. He didn't start taking shots till like the fourth quarter.
Tyrese gets
No,
involved. That's why he doesn't take as many shots.
Have you seen what the Pacers offense has done to Milwaukee?
No, it's beautiful.
Halliburton's
but he's
literally
at the head of the ship.
He's literally the
beautiful.
epitome of
It's beautiful.
unselfishness.
I also do think Tyrese Halliburton still struggles in terms of just one-on-one creating for himself.
I agree.
I don't think Nash
not
struggles with
his
that.
game, though.
Yeah, I don't think Nash ever struggled. I think that's the difference. Mike Conley.
Yeah, he's a poor man, Steve Nash. I would say that.
He's not saying that.
Well, please,
Say
can
it.
we please?
He's a modern comparison to Steve Nash.
He is. He's the
Poor man.
but he's the poor man.
If you're gonna tell me that, okay, Halliburton is not a two-time MVP.
Yes, that's
sure,
what
never
we're
be
he's
saying.
not a two-time MVP.
But
that's what we're saying without saying
but
it.
their
And
play styles
impact.
and numbers are extremely similar.
I agree. That's why he's the poor man's.
Like Steve Nash wouldn't have won MVP in back-to-back years
He
with
wouldn't
those
have
stats
averaged-
in this era.
He wouldn't have averaged 16 right now.
There's just no way you
He
could
would
tell
have averaged
that.
like
There's
22
just no way you could-
and
you
like
could say
12
that.
or 13.
I don't know.
Hallie
man.
averaged
He probably
19
would've-
this year.
He probably would
I
have
just-
averaged.
It's an
like
I just don't
inflation
know
league.
if,
He's gonna
if Nash
average
would
more.
average just 25.
He would average like 22 maybe.
23. It's an inflation league, bro.
Especially when he has a supporting cast that's able to score like the
naturally,
Pacers
Steve
supporting
Nash
cast.
was
more
on the
possessions now
Pacers
than there were
instead
then.
of Tyrese Halliburton. Prime Steve Nash. Are they not probably leading the league
One of
in offense
Nash's
every year?
MVP seasons, he's averaged 19
Yes.
and 11.
Steve Nash is one of the 10 best offensive
But
floor
that's why I
raises
say
in
that.
history of the game.
But that's why I say that. And on top of that, they would be the best offense. He could create for himself also, like
Steve
Tyrese
Nash
Halliburton does.
is
Steve
a-
Nash had a playoff run of 15 games where he averaged 24 and 11.
He could average 25 today.
I think that saying that he did
Yes,
it in 15
Nash.
he did it in 15 games versus he could do it
No.
for 200 games.
200.
It's
No one's saying 200.
Where'd you get 200 from?
Get around 65. That's all I need to be all
Where'd you
NBA.
get 200 from?
Just over the course of 2-3 seasons.
Oh,
That's
oh,
why.
oh.
But Halliburton in the playoffs he plays well.
No,
Last
yeah,
year
does.
he
I'm just-
averaged 18
yeah, I'm just fucking
and
with
11.
Against the
man.
Bucks, he was strong.
He's 16 and
Against the
13
Knicks,
right
he
now.
was really strong.
You know, Halliburton's not the player that Steve
No,
Nash is.
Halliburton
But
is playing great, man. I'm
both
just
of
trolling
them,
him,
both of
man.
them are unselfish. I don't think Steve Nash would just come to this era and start ripping shots. I think he'd still play unselfishly.
No, I think, like, all jokes aside, like, he was taking 12 to 13 shots, 11 shots. If you just factor in inflation, amount of possessions, I think he's comfortably taking about 16 to 17 shots.
I don't think that's crazy.
And I think if he's on 12 shots, I'll round it. So 13 shots, he's averaging 18 points a game, 19 points a game. So, like, you up that to 6, 7. Probably get to the line a little bit more. You take a 3 or 2 more. Like he was taking 5 threes a game, so maybe ups it up to 7.
I'm gonna look at the per 100 possession numbers.
Per 100 possession.
Just to see where he's at. I'm gonna go from just the Phoenix years.
I have it. He's at 26 a game.
Okay, the Phoenix years.
26 and 17. This shit looks crazy, bro.
Per
Yes, I'm at per 100%. This shit looks nuts, bro. 26
what's
and
Halliburton's
17.
per 100 possessions? Did you just use the prime years?
I was using Phoenix.
Or the entire Phoenix tenure?
I was just looking. Phoenix, I got
Not
you
the
right
first in Phoenix. Second.
No, I got
Phoenix.
you. So at 30 years old, 04, 05, Phoenix, 23 and 17. Next year, 27 and 15. Next year, 26 and 17. Next year, 25 and 16. I'll be honest, fuck per 100 possessions. This shit doesn't sound like it makes sense.
It's per 100 possessions.
Like 25 and 17,
Nobody in the world
23
has
and
averaged
17.
25.
Holy
17.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ!
It's projection. It's just per
Drew.
100 possessions.
No, I know, but that still is
Drew,
crazy to think
37
about.
years old. It projects him to average 20 and 18. 37 years old.
Okay, this is Halliburton. Since he got to the Pacers, first full season, 29 and 15.
Fuck, I lost.
30 and 16, 27 and 13.
It's pretty amazing.
Okay, so maybe we don't use per 100 possessions. What's this per 36 now?
Per 36.
Let's look. Let me see his playoffs.
No, it just shows like on a possession by possession basis.
Per 100 possessions.
You're
is
right.
Nuts.
Inflation is real, but
That being said, Rev, the Pacers, that's not a 5-game series. I think that's tough.
No, that's 6-7 for sure.
6-7, that's
That's
tough.
6.
yeah,
Listen,
they could push them to the brink.
I'm trolling Hal. He's playing great. I'm not like he playing
We'll see
great.
against the Cavs. I will say, this Bucks one, I'm not looking at Halliburton too much to up his game. He doesn't need to score 25 this series. He's
might
doing
not
what
need
he's
to
doing,
do
and
it next
everybody
series.
gentlemen sweep them. Versus the Cavs, he needs to
They
step
need
up.
him. They need him.
And he needs to average 24 to 25.
Because
I do think.
I think Pascal Siakam.
It's a tough series.
He's gonna have a tough go at it.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
he's
real
gonna
tough
play the
series.
best that he can, and it's gonna be a good product. It's all on Tyrese.
I'll say it right now. 16 and 13 next series not good enough.
No,
unless
no
they're
way.
up. If
Yeah,
they're
no,
up,
I
then
know
it's
what
fine.
you
If they're winning, he can do whatever he
Yeah,
wants.
if they're up, then it's fine.
Listen,
but no,
if it's
that's
an
not good enough.
efficient 16 and he's putting it up in the 4, I ain't gonna be too mad.
That's what's
bro.
gonna happen.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be too mad at bro. Like
Hallie.
I talk shit about him all the time. It's fun, but he's playing good. He's not playing. The offensive system is beautiful.
I wonder if Ty Jerome gets switched on to Halliburton. He's gonna remember my comment
I hope so.
What was your comment?
that I hope Halliburton cooks you.
Oh shit. I
Yeah,
forgot
because he
about that.
didn't pick him to win the Play the Right Way King of the Hill. He picked Derek White over him. I was just baffled by that.
Derek
knows
White's
ball.
the king of play the right
Yeah.
way.
So is Halliburton. He is like the epitome.
I'll be honest,
of it.
that could be probably a series of the last 3 years.
Trey Young
bro.
doesn't play the right way.
Pacers.
That still kind
Cavs.
of sticks with me.
Just in terms of offense, how exciting that's going to
There's
be.
a lot of offense. That's a fact.
That's a lot of.
What's unethical about Trey Young's hoops?
He takes a stupid shot.
That stupid ass floater.
He's inefficient.
Come on. So
Yeah,
you
he's
have to
probably-
be efficient to play the right way.
What
He's gotta
point
be maybe
guards?
smart shots.
What point guards take the dumbest shots? You think? I think LaMelo's probably number one.
Melo's
doubt.
definitely number
Yeah.
one.
Damn, nah.
No, he's right.
Terry Rozier.
You
Terry
know,
Rozier's is not that good.
KPJ also.
Oh,
takes
we're talking about
some dumbass shots.
good point guards. I just
We
don't-
probably should narrow it down to just good
All right.
players.
Probably LaMelo has to.
I
like Trey
can't
Young
think
is in the
of
top
anyone else.
5, isn't he?
Jordan
Young
Poole,
is top
Jordan Poole
3.
got better this year. Last year was bad.
Who?
Jordan Poole. Take some bad shots.
Poole.
Still.
He used to back in the day.
D'Lo.
You know,
D'Lo's
you
in the
know
top
who also
3.
takes bad shots? They just happen to go in.
Steph.
Luka Doncic.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Steph is another one.
He takes some objectively. Yes.
Not for him though.
Steph
No.
takes,
Agreed.
Steph takes some wild shit.
They
You're
can,
like,
they
yo.
can take stupid shots because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just
go
go
in.
in.
He did
He did a turnaround from the 3-point line. It's just like,
But when he misses, you're like, bro.
like
Can we-
you're
can
trolling.
we-
I
You
feel
know what I
like
mean?
the
Can we bring it
epitome
down
of
a little
that was the play against the Clippers, where he's doing the crazy ass in and out. He just goes and he's
Shot
fading
that
a
shit.
3-point. You see Steve Kerr go, "What are you doing?" And then it goes in. And you're just like, "Well,
No, but Steph,
why you don't
like,
question
if
Steph.
Steph hits 2 in a row, the third one's gonna be a dumbass shot.
Yeah. He's
It's-
pulling out from half court.
He's definitely. This is
I feel
a
like
heat
that's
check.
everyone." I see LeBron do some dumb shit.
No, LeBron definitely. It'd be the stars. They be on some troll shit. But
LeBron,
they have to.
low key, game 3, LeBron was going stoop, hits 2 threes in a row. He goes and gets the outlet pass. He's going to catch and shoot the ball.
Yeah.
He's already trying to shoot. He loses the ball,
That
goes
turned
out
the
of
game
bounds.
over.
That
That turned
did
the
turn the
game
game
over.
around.
We
really
we
did.
should probably do a project of adjusting for inflation and looking at the numbers.
I think. What's that guy on Thinking Basketball? I think he did something like that.
He did. I don't think he went as far to like do it for Halliburton though. Maybe it's something on his Patreon that you can subscribe to, because I know he has a database of analytics.
It's a
and
good
stuff.
conversation because I think like now these numbers, they don't really like numbers back then, numbers now. They don't really tell the full story of who's a better player. You know?
Yeah, per 100 possessions is the flawed stat of the per possession stat. I think the stat that people use is per 75. I just don't think it's readily available on Basketball Reference, but it's per 75 possessions because that's around the amount of possessions you'll get in a game.
That makes
so
sense.
that's why. NFL draft winners.
Thank God.
Let's talk about the draft winners.
It's supposed to be a draft.
For me, yeah, it was. And we just started talking about basketball, and then we got wrapped up in it.
Let's do round table. Because there are way more winners than losers.
Yeah.
To me, the first one, we spoke about it. I think I look at the Browns and what they were able to do. Outside of the fact that you got Shedeur in the 5th round. I know you kind of tainted it just a smidge by drafting Dylan Gabriel too. But trading back, I'm sure Browns fans were scratching their head. Why are you passing on a generational talent? The fact of the assets that you were able to acquire with that. You get Mason Graham, who was the best interior defensive lineman, can arguably be the best defensive player in this draft, unless you want to count Travis Hunter for what he's able to do. The fact that you were able to get Judkins, the fact that you were able to get Sampson, the fact that you were able to get so much depth in this draft, and then on top of it, the draft capital that you secured for the future. You addressed your needs on the offensive side of the ball, and you know your defense is ready. Even still, you drafted Mason Graham because you knew you needed a partner next to Myles Garrett. I thought they did an amazing job. And the last team I want to shout out, and then I'll open up to you guys, is the Falcons. I know that they... Anytime. The fact that they gave up the first round pick, that stuck with me, no doubt. However, we've talked about them needing pass rush for seasons now. And you go and you draft Jalen Walker, staying put. I thought that the Panthers were going to be all over that. You stay there where you're at. You were able to get Jalen Walker, who could be a top 3 defensive lineman in this draft, and also with his versatility, I think that's a great asset. You trade up to go and get James Pierce. Some people are extremely high on him. Feel as if he could be a top 2 edge rusher in this draft. He is definitely great at getting to the quarterback. You did what we wanted you to do. You needed some secondary help. You go and you bring in 2 safeties. It makes sense for what their draft strategy was. They went all in and they banked on themselves, and it could pay off as soon as next season.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the first round pick that they traded away because they probably wouldn't have gotten Pierce at their spot, but they could have gotten another edge rusher. But if you believe in a player that much and you think it's worth the risk, then that's what they believe. I really like the safety additions. Xavier Watts is a ball hawk, and Billy Bowman Jr. is one of my guys in this draft. I really think he has a chance to be special. He just hits so hard and plays at 100 miles per hour all the time. So I love that shot. And the Browns, they drafted 5 starters. Harold Fannin Jr., I think, could be a starting
Didn't
tight
even
end.
mention Harold.
Carson Schweichinger, second best tight end in the class. He could start. And JOK has had some problems with concussions recently, so now they have an insurance policy. Mason Graham, best defensive tackle in the draft. And then Shedeur. Shedeur, because of the Dylan Gabriel pick, it's been overlooked. But they got a day 2 talent in day 3 of the draft.
And Judkins as well.
Exactly. He could start too. So the Browns had an incredible draft, just rebuilding their team and retooling.
Yeah. Team I'll shout out, New England Patriots. You know, this was a team going into the offseason that needed a lot of help on both sides of the ball.
You have a crush on the Pats.
But they've had a great offseason. Mike Vrabel was probably my favorite head coach available, him and Ben Johnson. But first round, you draft Will Campbell. And I know everyone's comments about Will Campbell is just the short arms, which I get. You know, we really haven't seen someone with his short of arms play at a super high level in the NFL when you go back through all the tackles in NFL history. But he's also a 3-year starter at LSU and was in the 95th percentile of all tackles in PFF true pass sets. So I get the arm length isn't there, but he's doing it in the SEC at one of the biggest schools, and he was able basically every single time to dominate. Second round, they get Travion Henderson. This is a team that desperately needs some offensive firepower. And I think Ramondre, they just extended him last year, even though different regime since Vrabel's kind of running things now. But they need explosiveness, and that's what Henderson does. He is one of 6 Power 4 running backs with 100 carries of at least 10 yards since 2021. He's a guy that's super explosive, and he's one of the best pass protecting backs in college last year. So he'll definitely be the third down back off rip there in New England. Kyle Williams from Washington State was another guy that I was hoping the Jets could potentially snag as a round 3 guy, and I think they might have gotten him if he didn't go like 4 or 5 picks before him. But he's another kind of deep threat guy, someone that could win over the top. 8.4 yards after the catch per reception, was number one amongst all receivers in this 2025 class. I think he was 10th as well in terms of deep catches, 20 plus yards. So an explosive weapon who could also play on the outside, because they got a few different guys that could play in the slot, right? Pop Douglas is there, Stephon Diggs. So this is a guy that he's only 6 foot, 190, but he has the versatility to play on both sides. They could be a playoff team. They could be. The last
Bills
guy
are just better.
The Bills are better. And the last guy is just Jared Wilson, a center from Georgia. Only played 1 year at Georgia, but in that 1 year, he had a 90.5 PFF pass blocking grade on true blocking stats, so similar to Will Campbell. So they're really trying to protect Drake May. I love that they're getting guys, from LSU and from Georgia, from these schools where we know you perform with the highest competition. So yeah, New England I thought did great in free agency, had a great draft as well.
And they're building a culture. I think they really answered a lot of questions on the defensive side of the football in free agency, and then using the draft to go all in on offense, which is probably what you thought the Broncos should have done. Not to throw a jab at them, but the Patriots kind of did what you wanted the Broncos to do.
You're not wrong. I know that I'm kind of jumping the gun here a little bit, but yeah, the Broncos would be one of my losers. And I say this, let me preface all of what I'm going to say with Sean Payton. I trust your direction. You know way better than I do. People doubted you on Bo Nix. Obviously, Bo Nix goes and he validates you in year one. We make the playoffs. That was kind of everything that Broncos fans should just be like, all right, you're driving the boat. We trust everything that you're going to do and where you're going to take us. And I know that the value at 20 with Jahdae Barron, it was exceptional and was one of the better picks of the first round. But there was so much hype with us jumping into the top 10, being ultra aggressive for an offensive player for what it seemed. I think we really wanted Genty, and the Raiders kind of put a thorn in that and then kind of shut down what our plans were going to be. I just thought that there was a little bit there was so much hype coming into this draft for the Broncos. And I like RJ Harvey. I think he has some really strong tools. Bryant as a wide receiver who probably could have gone a few rounds later, you could argue. I just think that the value for where we got both of those guys, that's kind of where I'm at a little bit of a crossroads, because we still address needs.
Yeah.
We needed a running back. We needed a wide receiver, and we did that.
Just wasn't the players.
It wasn't Trayvon, who I would have been happy for if we would have been aggressive and traded up. It's not Luther Burden who was available in the second round.
Right process, wrong result.
And again, I trust Sean Payton, but as a fan, I was kind of let down.
And the Will Campbell thing, 4th overall pick, I think he's going to be a really good left tackle for a long time. The arm length, it matters because of leverage points when you're playing. And that's why they measure these things at the combine, because players that have longer arms are more likely to succeed. There's always outliers. But, for example, like for people that are watching on YouTube, if Dell sticks his arm out versus me, and I know you can stick your arm out too, Dell, try to reach towards me. I don't reach him. Obviously, this is an egregious example because I'm much shorter than him, but he reaches me. If you can reach somebody first as an offensive lineman blocking somebody, you can control them and leverage them in different positions. If you have shorter arms and you don't reach them first, they can kind of control you on the rep. So what that means is that Will Campbell has to make up for those arms in technique and just beating players to the spot. And NFL players are really athletic, but that's kind of the hurdle that he has to overcome. And he has really sound technique, which is why I think he will be successful. But that's why the arm length matters, because it's just a leverage battle. If you can get if you can get under somebody's pads first, then you can win that rep.
And I also think the Patriots realized that Henderson wasn't going to be there if they didn't take him at their pick.
Absolutely.
And I thought the obvious selection was going to be Luther Burden. I thought that it was just right there for him. However, when you consider the fact that they did go Kyle Williams in the very next round after that, it was kind of their silver lining of trying to compensate for it. And again, Kyle Williams, we'll see what he becomes, but you know what Vrabel wants to do. He wants to run the ball. He wants a guy that can pass block. And Trayvon Henderson can also be a really great asset in the passing game as well. It makes sense. I get why they did it. I thought Luther would have been the pick there, but you can't be mad with what Trayvon's going to give them.
He's a good compliment to Ramondre.
No doubt.
They're also putting they're putting some pressure on Drake May next year. You want to be competitive. Good. They had a good free agency.
There's no excuse to not take a leap.
No, that's I think they want to. They saw what he did last year towards the end of the year, and it gave them hope, gave them promise. He was a really good player. And, you had a good free agency. You go into the draft. You have a solid draft. You want to compete. And in a division where Miami looks shaky, the Jets are losers. It's really just the Bills.
What do you mean by that?
Period.
Draft losers?
Just losers.
No, like you're losers. You lose.
We are a losing franchise, but we did have a
Not
great
much you can
draft.
argue there, man.
You've lost for decades. But I'll say this. They want to remain competitive. They want to compete. As for Cleveland, man, they're a funny team. They're a really funny team. I think with Deshaun Watson being out for next year, you have real opportunity here to build the quarterback. And I think Shedeur Sanders could be that guy for you guys. I said you guys like anybody.
For you.
Here.
You know what? The Browns are getting a lot of hate right now.
Yes.
The comments for the Browns, when they post Shedeur Sanders on their Instagram, the comments are all, yeah, you're posting him like he was a first-round pick, but he went fifth. And, they're kind of just being like, oh,
assholes about it.
Yeah, y'all don't deserve him. Y'all don't this, y'all don't that.
I mean, listen, you got Junkins, Nick Chubb. You don't know what you're going to get from him at this point.
I think he is a free agent.
Yeah,
He might not
save
be
your
on
own
the team.
board,
He
though.
probably won't come back. Unfortunate. That's really my brother. Still my brother. Hope he finds a home. You drafted Junkins. You have Shedeur. You got Dylan Gabriel. Okay. So you have like a cool little quarterback room filled with vets, Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson. So we'll see how that goes. But Cleveland got a good price back for trading down a little bit and still getting able to get a top prospect. He may not be Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter or Cam Ward if you put him in that tier, but he's still a tick below and still a really great prospect that can be a really good player. Plus, now you add some much needed help to a guy like Myles Garrett, who's going to stay on that team, help that defense who's kind of been at the forefront of this team for the past couple years.
I had a lot of winners in this draft. You guys mentioned some of them. The Chiefs, I really thought had an A-plus draft.
You gave that 7th round running back an A+. I said, damn.
For the pick, absolutely. I love the Chiefs draft. Josh Simmons, I believe, is the most athletically gifted left tackle in this draft. And he was going to be the first offensive tackle taken had he not torn his ACL. I just think he's a very fluid mover, and I think the Chiefs found their franchise left tackle if he could stay healthy. Omar Norman-Lott, he led every single interior defensive lineman in pressure rate. But his knock was that he was a rotational pass rusher. He only played 17 snaps a game. So the Chiefs are kind of betting that he can be more of a 3-down player, but it does make their pass rush better on 3rd downs anyway.
Yeah, but also 2nd round pick if he's just a great rotational pass rusher.
Exactly.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Ashton Gelati was my favorite pick of the Chiefs that they made. I think Ashton Gelati was a steal in the 3rd round. He's 2nd in pressures over the last 2 seasons in college football since 2023. I thought that was really amazing. And then the running back you're talking about, Brashard Smith. I mean, it wasn't too long ago, Isaiah Pacheco was a 7th round pick, and they got him in the 7th round. Brashard Smith has some real speed. He's a converted wide receiver. He doesn't have feel for playing a running back position, but he's very fast. He had the 4th most all-purpose yards this year, and he's a returner too. So in the 7th round, if you can get a receiving back or a punt and kick returner, I think that's excellent value. And their corner, they got Noah Williams. He can start. He's one of the best tacklers in this draft. He only allowed a 41% completion percentage, and he had a 41 pass rate when he was targeted. He's a ball hawk. He had the most interceptions this past year. So I think the Chiefs had an A+ in this draft. The other teams I had, the Seahawks, almost every pick they made I thought was a slam dunk.
And great value.
Yeah, Gray Zabel, 1st round pick, starter at guard day 1.
Good pick.
Nick Emenwari is a project. You bet on his athletic tools. He's a 99%
I like him
athlete.
with Mike McDonald.
I was going to say,
Yes.
That's a fun spot.
Love the location he went
couldn't
to.
cover in college. He got lost. But if you're just telling him to read and react in the run game and tackle, I think that's where he can be at his best, at least early on. Elijah Arroyo, he was one of my draft crushes at tight end. Mm-hmm. He's just a really good receiving threat, and now you just add more weapons to the offense. Jalen Milroe, betting on upside. He has all the tools. You bet on the upside, and if he becomes something, sure.
You like Jalen Milroe?
I really do like Jalen Milroe.
Why you don't like Jalen Hurts?
What the?
What do you mean by that?
You like Jalen Milroe? Why don't you like Jalen Hurts?
I think Jalen Milroe is a more exciting runner.
He is. I mean, he's a 4.3, 4.4, 40 guy.
I don't know. You think Jalen Milroe will ever have a 40-plus yard touchdown in the playoffs?
Who knows? He ever
He might not
starts?
start.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Jalen Milroe is a much better athlete than Hurts.
See a better prospect.
No.
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 No. Jalen Milroe just is basically Anthony Richardson in the.
I would say physical
third, fourth
tools. He
round.
just got more physical.
Did you guys
tools,
see the clip of
A lot
the
of guys have
reporter
physical tools.
going to the GM and McDonald's saying, "Yeah, Milroe came up to us and said that you said that he was the number one quarterback on your guys' board," and he's like,
I respect him not lying.
Yeah, he said no,
that.
he wasn't. He wasn't. No, but Milroe, I think they really liked him because he's coachable and he's just willing to listen and do what they say to get better.
Bama.
He was, he has to refine a lot of things about his game, but the arm talent that he has,
That wide receiver saved his bacon
it's
a lot.
worth it. Taking it in the fourth round, I think is where they selected him. That's worth it. You take him in the fourth, or I think it's in the third, one of those
I think it
rounds.
was the third, yeah.
Torrey Horton, 6'3" wide receiver out of Colorado State, who runs a 4.4.
If he didn't get hurt, he probably would have gone higher.
Yeah, I thought that was a great pick. And Damian Martinez, the running back, who I think could be a rotational running back. So their draft was also pretty amazing.
The other team I'll shout out is New York Giants. I thought the
they had a great
Giants
draft.
had a really good draft. Of course, we
scared.
know how great Abdul Carter is going to be. That's going to be one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Jackson Dart is, I think, the only pick I'm looking at. I don't know how this is going to work out because, again, it's a quarterback, and just historically, quarterbacks that go in the late first round or teams that trade up for a quarterback that are looked at as day 2 picks but end up being first round picks usually don't work out.
Lamar.
But yeah, there's some that do. Not a lot. There's some that do.
"Who knows?" man?
But
Teddy
I think he went to a good spot just because he's going to be sitting probably for a year. And then you do have Brian Dable, if he retains his job, which the Giants will probably have to win 8 or 9 games. He's a good offensive-minded head coach. He's a good play caller. He's a good schemer. So I think it's a good spot for Jackson Dart. But some of the other values they got, I thought Cam Scatabo in the 4th round, he was someone that I know was on a lot of people's big boards in terms of day 3 running backs that snuck through after the 3rd round, but he's a great compliment to Tyrone Tracy. You have Cam for first and second down. I like Tracy, but I always saw him more as a 3rd down running back who's going to get more work in the receiving game. So add another weapon to that offense. They got a couple guys in the offense and defensive line. Embo, I don't know exactly how you pronounce it. Is,
on offensive line.
He was consensus round 3 guy that they got in round 5 that could potentially be a starter day 1. So I thought the Giants did a really good job.
Yeah, I thought they had an amazing draft. That defensive line looks really good now with Dexter Lawrence and Abdul Carter and Brian Burns and Darius Alexander, who a lot of people are high on. So I like what they did. I like what the Panthers did, getting Ted McMillan and Nick Scorton in the 2nd round.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was really good. I know you mentioned this in the pre-recorded content, but the Cardinals just going all defense, and Will Johnson was arguably the steal of the draft, getting him in the
pick of the
2nd.
draft.
Yeah.
Getting Walter Nolan and Will Johnson, those are 2 round 1 guys.
Unless you count Shedeur in the 5th.
That is a great value.
Shedeur in the 5th is insane.
I think sorry, go ahead, Riff.
Thank you. Yeah, I had 3 winners. I'm just looking at Arizona, team that I'm really high on. Me and Drew, we go way back with Arizona.
Talk.
Our love is different. They went 8-9 last year. Finished 3rd in the NFC West.
They blew it.
Missed the playoffs, like you mentioned. Blew it. Had an opportunity to definitely be at the hunt.
Crushed it.
End of the year. Brutal. I want to say towards the end, middle to towards the end
They lost
stretch
both
where they
to Seattle.
lost
That
both
was
Seattle
it.
games. They went. I think they lost their last 3 of their last 6 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah, they collapsed.
Free agents, they didn't have many key free agents. For the most part, everybody's coming back. And like you mentioned, Joel, a team that went all defense, they drafted 1 offensive player, and it was a guard from Texas. But for the most part, Hayden Connor, for the most part, they went Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, Will Johnson, like you just mentioned, cornerback, Jordan Birch, edge, Cody Simmons, linebacker, Denzel Burke, which I really do love, but he was getting a little chopped up at Ohio State sometimes.
Cody Simon's from Ohio State too, and that was a good pick.
Yeah, they all played on the championship team. This is a team that went all defense. This is a team that understood their failures last year or their lack of talent on the defensive side, whether it be just not youth, not enough veterans. And for a team that went 8-9, they still, to me, feel like a team that's trending in the right direction, making the proper moves. I mean, Jordan Birch is a guy who has a lot of versatility on the line. So I think that's important for them. But, Arizona just keeps trending in the right way. They still have Marvin Harris Jr., Kyler Murray on the offensive side. So they're going to be solid on that route as long as they continue to, upgrade at that end. And then, of course, Howie Roseman, man. This guy just never loses. I mean, Jahad Campbell, Andrew Makuba, if I said it right, Ty Robinson. I mean, this team just keeps adding on youth, and you're adding Jahad Campbell to a linebacking crew of Zach Bond, of Nakobe Dean, who's probably going to miss a little bit of the season to
Might
start.
miss the whole season.
Might, and that's why you drafted Jahad Campbell.
Definitely.
You need to fill in that void, and we saw what this team did to Zach Bond in the year. turned it into a flat-out superstar. And then in the secondary, you lost Darius Slay, but you're bringing in Andrew Makuba. You already have those guys filling in with
CJ
Cooper.
Johnson
I mean, CJ, they did lose, which was unfortunate, but I feel like you can replace him high-key.
Makuba, that's the replacement
Exactly,
right there.
and you still have Reed Blankenship, you still have Cooper. They still believe in Ringo, so we'll see how that goes. Then of course you got Guantanamo Bay, so you can't forget that. And then my third winner is gonna be my sleeper team, the Carolina Panthers, baby. This team is gonna shock the fucking world. And I may not be the biggest Bryce Young fan. I'll save that for him.
I'll be honest, Riv. Let me just say this right now. Hop aboard.
I can't because I am a CJ Stroud fan.
You
But
can
what
be
I
both.
will say is, Drew, I won't root against him. I will be rooting.
I'm gonna be
for
really
him.
honest with you, bro. He's going to be a dog.
And he's going to be elite. Not only is he going to be elite, he's bringing in some help with him. I mean, he went out there, he got Tet. Then they went out there, they went defense with Nick and Princely Edges from Texas A&M, Mississippi State. They went and they got an ETN brother, which we all know ETN brothers
good
are
ETN
at
brother.
minimum really
And
good.
apparently Hunter Renfrow, he's making a comeback.
He did.
He's on the
And yo,
Panthers.
I watched a lot of Colorado games. Jimmy Horns Jr.
He's good.
He's good.
He's good.
Like him falling in
His
the
hands
six
are shaky,
was tough.
aren't they?
So was Jamar Chase. I say
practices.
So is CD Lamb. I say that to say potential's there.
You're
But
nuts.
I like
comparing
Jimmy
those
Horns
In
two
the
guys
sixth
so
round,
hard.
you take it.
Yeah, I like it.
This is
Listen,
the value there.
like Xavier Legette had hands problems last year.
No, he's a problem.
Yeah,
Period.
Yeah, he dropped some
I don't
passes.
know.
So they don't have much out there. Adam Thielen was out there.
Shout out to the cokeheads.
Yeah, so
Stock went down.
I like it.
A
I
little
mean,
bit.
Carolina got an A for me.
Coker, Leggett, McMillan, you could build off that.
You could talk yourself into it. Like, all right, this is
Y'all
solid.
think Leggett is bad?
And
I don't
know
think he's
why.
bad. He
You know,
just
his
wasn't
hands-
good
I don't think he's
last
bad
year.
either.
hands. He
Chuba
can get open.
Hubbard is
He's
still
a good
out there
athlete.
too.
You know who else can get open? I'll leave it at that.
Oh fuck.
Leave it
Leggett,
at
Leggett
that.
has some
He
serious
stinks.
speed.
Yeah.
that
He
threatens
does. No, he's a
defenses.
great athlete.
He's like that, man. Listen, I think Carolina's offense is gonna be better. I think they'll win the division. They're a really good team.
The only other team I had as a winner, Baltimore Ravens.
I was gonna say, how haven't we talked about him?
Yeah, I
it pissed
think
me off.
you can make the argument. The fact that they picked at whatever,
best
27,
values.
28,
Yep.
and you have, I think you can look at every team in the NFL and what team is going to get the most impact from their first two picks. I think the Ravens going to be up there with everybody. Malachi Starks in the first round. He fell because I don't think he's not this great athlete, right? He's not like 6'4", 230 and runs a 4.3 40, but he was a day one starter. Started for 3 years at Georgia, I should say. He was someone that he's a great tackler, great IQ. He makes good decisions. He's not someone that is going to blow you away athletically, but he's more than athletic enough to be able to cover. He could play free safety, strong, nickel, a lot of versatility, which opens up just other things for Kyle Hamilton, who's your true, all pro guy you have on the back end there. And then Mike Green, he has the off the field stuff that's definitely concerning.
That probably took him off a lot of teams.
Absolutely,
draft
but
boards completely.
we talked about this previously. When you have certain allegations against you or certain issues, what team you go to matters a lot. Because if you go to a team that has a winning culture, has leadership at head coaching,
Jalen
has
Carter.
leadership on defense, like Jalen Carter and the Eagles, I think there's paths for you to succeed. Jalen Carter went to the damn Jaguars.
Michael Vick
No
to the
disrespect
Eagles.
to the Jaguars, but I don't know if they would have worked out. So I think Mike Green landed in a great spot. And he's one of the best pass rushers in this draft class. So those two picks, that Ravens defense got a lot better.
If you don't take a guy with those type off the field concerns, then another team is going to. And that's just the bottom line. There are some teams that just maybe took them off their board completely and they didn't even think of it because they have a certain moral compass. But
I feel like
the
that should
Ravens
be fake sometimes. Like teams are fake having moral compasses. Like
Yeah, no, definitely. It just all depends on the value you bring. But, the Ravens are doing whatever it takes to get Lamar that Super Bowl.
Last pick.
So soon.
I guess player I want to shout out.
so what?
So soon.
Sure, buddy.
Kanata Mumfield was the 7th round selection for the LA Rams wide receiver. Works in the slot. I'm just gonna take a guess that he's
After
gonna be
Puka,
good.
anything can happen.
I'm just gonna take a guess that he's
I
gonna be
thought
good.
Jordan Whittington was going to be next up.
Whittington
could be.
had moments.
Preseason, he was awesome.
He had moments.
The only last thing I'll mention is just the winners of it, not like a draft, but an offense. I thought the Chargers offense was the big winner.
You're excited, man.
I'm really excited about Amari Hampton and Trey Harris.
What's Amar and Hampton's rookie stat line?
Probably some
With
nutty stuff.
Najee and him sharing the backfield, well, they're going to run the ball a ton.
947
Yeah,
yards.
I could see a close to 1K
8
season for
touchdowns.
Amari and Hampton.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be the first 1 to 2 down
Najee's
back.
gonna vulture a ton.
Najee will be the
I'm going
receiving back.
I'm going 1,200 all purpose.
But like,
Okay.
Yeah, all
I'm
purpose.
just thinking about it. Last year at this time, we looked at the Chargers after the draft. Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Josh Palmer, Will Dissly, Gus Edwards, and maybe J.K. Dobbins stays healthy. We looked at that and said, how the hell are they going to move the ball? There's just no way. And then a year later to have McConkey and then Trey Harris and then Najee and then Hampton and Mike Williams is now back. Tyler Conklin.
All he did was move back 5 feet.
And an offensive line that added Mekhi Becton, who's a big man. That line is huge.
Mike Williams mentioned was
Joe
nuts.
Alt,
Mike Williams
Joe
is
Alt is 6'8". Mekhi Becton is 6'7".
No, they're good, man. They're really good.
Rashawn Slater is 6'6". Their line, they got some gigantic human beings on that line. They're people movers.
You're gassing up.
Oh shit.
Cavs are up
what?
60, by the way.
Maybe it's because I just, the way I view, and Quentin Johnson
Belt.
is good as a role player wide receiver.
60's
He's
crazy.
just not an X, but Trey Harris is going to be that X.
Miami got to blow it.
Trey
up,
Harris got some similar Ole Miss traits to the other wide receivers.
Heavens.
I'm also
A
talking.
lot of receivers that played over there.
Didn't AJ Brown go to Ole Miss?
He absolutely
I know
did.
you're not talking about no
Trey
AJ
Harris
Brown.
is
So did
closer
Elijah
to
Moore.
DK and AJ Brown than he is to Elijah Moore.
What?
Trey Harris.
Say that one more
Is
time.
what?
He is closer to AJ and DK Metcalf than he is to Elijah Moore.
Yo, that's like insane.
You have two very opposite spectrums.
Trey
You have a guy
Harris-
that's
you're
like
really just
out the
picking the
league and a
best.
top
Trey
5
Harris is
receiver.
AJ Brown's like
6'3".
top 5.
Trey
in
Harris
the
is-
world.
Ole Miss rarely misses.
Yeah, they got dudes.
Trey Harris is 6'3". He has some real blazing speed.
I believe you.
And the route tree he's going to ask to
Can we say he's just
run
closer to
in
DK than
LA?
AJ? Because AJ's
Sure.
so far.
You can say that, but
you
I
know?
think Trey Harris is going to be a really
Like
good
him
NFL
and
wide
DK is
receiver.
a gap. You know what I'm saying?
Like the Chargers just went from having nobody to now they have a real offensive core, and I like it a lot. Like I'm really excited about what Herbert does next season with it. They saw the playoff game and they said we gave this quarterback no help,
I mean, he was dog shit.
and we gotta surround
We
him.
just ignored that.
He
part,
was
you know?
he was bad because there was nothing open.
Yeah, because somebody
Oh,
forced
interesting.
him.
But then if I say that about Bo Nix, no, he just
No,
wasn't
no,
good.
Drew.
Bo
Somebody
Nix-
forced him to make a cross-field pass to Quentin Johnson.
Bo Nix wasn't pressured on 55% of his dropbacks in his game. Herbert was pressured on 55% of his dropbacks.
How many?
You know, you want to know every other dropback, every
that
other
was
dropback
CJ
you're getting
Stroud all
pressured.
season.
Not all
Hawk.
season long.
That was
Not
CJ
all
Stroud
season.
all season.
talk.
Not 55%.
He averaged
Talk.
33%. What was it? 33, 36%?
No, I helped you
That's
out.
like all
It was
season.
38%.
Yeah, that's all.
But
That's essentially all season.
38% to 55% is
55
a
for a
huge gap.
game and 38 for
Yeah, in
17
one game,
games.
you get pressured that much. It's hard to play quarterback.
I mean, listen.
And if your wide receivers don't catch the ball, it's also hard to be successful.
Talk.
Don't compare Bo Nix to Herbert, bro.
I'm just saying, flirting versus harassment.
Talk. Who's harassing and who's flirting here?
I think we know.
No,
I think we know.
Oh,
the flirting's
please.
obviously
Playoff
Herbert.
dropper?
Oh, please.
Harassment's Bo Nix.
Drew's falling off on Herbert a lot.
It's been trending every year.
I have a quarterback
Like
now.
I'll be honest, it's trending low every year.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
It's so hilarious, and I have this conversation with Charles all the time. We finally had one, and you said, nah. Nah, I'm good.
Saying a player you guys agreed on.
We had it.
Well, he was in.
He
then
was
out.
no. He was early. He was on it. Draft day.
He was.
I'm
I
in.
remember, yes.
Bo Nix could be the second best quarterback this year.
And then he
in
showed
this
you his
draft
true
class.
colors.
And then, like 3 days later, he said, "No, thank you."
You know, he did that to me too, man.
It's messed up because Bo Nix was really strong in the postseason too. He just was really bad game 1 and game 2.
I don't remember the
what?
game that you. I don't remember this game, this strong game you're talking about.
in the
in
postseason.
the
There was one
preseason
game.
versus the
Oh,
Colts.
the preseason.
preseason.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
like,
Postseason,
I was
you
like,
called
what?
me
thought you
off guard.
said-
Did I say postseason?
Yes, you
Yeah,
said
I
postseason.
apologize. No, in the preseason, he came out, was really good.
Yeah.
He was awesome in the preseason. And for whatever reason, you were just like, nah, I'm good.
He was all right. He had some major red flags in the preseason.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
his jitteriness in the pocket was a real concern.
And it stayed throughout the regular season. And he threw
leg, yeah.
29 touchdowns, second most all time by a quarterback by a rookie.
He did.
Don't put too much into that.
Interesting.
That don't matter.
Don't put too much into
I
that.
remember when Baker broke the record and
Yeah.
you were fondling his little sack.
His EPA
know
per
it's
play
little?
might have been better. I was fondling his EPA per play. That might have been better.
Hey, Bo Nix's EPA per play after week 5
What is it?
can move
Is it
you.
really good?
Can move you. It can move you.
CJ Stroud.
You know
week
who
1 to
else
8,
is?
QBA,
Hey, you
MVP.
know who else's
Nico
EPA
on the
can move
field.
you after coming back?
Who?
Bryce Young.
Talk. They don't talk about CJ.
I'm telling you,
I'm looking
Bryce
forward
Young
to the
is the
season.
breakout player this year.
I can
I'm
see
all
it.
in.
Over Bo Nix.
He broke out already.
Crying.
So
I'm like a Jets quarterback.
There's only chance for
That was
regression.
unnecessary. I mean, okay.
There's only
Literally,
chance
yes.
for regression.
Okay, we did nothing to help him unless Pat Bryant's him and he's actually our MT. Please God.
I'm actually hoping the Broncos get J.K. Dobbins. I think that would be a good addition.
That would give me some blood flow.
It would be a good addition. The chart, he's not signed yet. You need a running back. I
He
kind of
seems like
think
a Sean Payne type of guy.
J.K. Dobbins would definitely get me going.
I think that's the most obvious team running back pairing right now that's left. I think
Go get your.
they haven't addressed it enough. But R.J. Harvey, I really like. He's a bowling ball.
Respect him. Nick Chubb's a legend. I fear his time is
one
done.
more. Just give him one last ride.
He has to be your. He doesn't have to be your
Fine.
workhorse.
Yo,
Just go
one
in there.
last ride.
RB3.
RB3, RB2 sometimes.
No,
you know what
I
I'm
need him
saying?
out the gates. You give him 20 touches a game.
We had John in your chair the other day, and he said
What did John
Bo
say?
Nix was
Bo
better
Nix
than
was
Geno
over
Smith.
Geno. Yeah.
Yeah. Strong take.
Definitely.
No,
Sean
John
Payne.
said some shit that day.
I'm gonna be
he
honest
said
with you.
something else. He said Bo. Did he say Bo over Baker?
I don't know if he said that. He did say him
I don't hate
over a
that
lot of
take.
other
Yeah,
players.
he was saying a lot.
Yeah, be
Yeah,
honest.
I
You
don't
give him
remember.
Mike Evans,
he
Chris
was
Godwin,
he
Bucky
his
Irving.
numbers were
caveated by
damn
saying
good.
better season.
Yeah, he did. He kept saying
John's
that.
always got these.
I love
damn
that.
caveats.
No, he cooked. Who had a
course-
better season?
Of course
Bo
you're
Nix.
saying that.
Bo Nix had a better
Or
season than a
Geno?
ton.
Yeah. And I told John, I said, what happens if the roles are reversed and, Geno's in Denver and vice versa? And he's like, oh, yeah, it wouldn't be close to be Geno. I was like, okay.
AFC West is going to be a dogfight because I think
Will be.
every single team got better to a certain extent. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs, so it's really hard to downgrade when you have
Chiefs from
Mahomes.
about my power rankings.
Yeah,
They went from 6 to maybe 4.
You're stupid.
the Chargers. I think they have a chance to win that division this year.
I
feel like we say that every year.
Puncher's chance.
I think the Broncos. They hot
I
take.
don't want to.
AFC West. There's a chance, man.
They missed playoffs.
And then the Raiders. I don't think they're gonna be bad. Their
Wait,
defense.
what was the hot
pretty
take?
bad.
You just said AFC West.
Oh, the Broncos. You never know.
You said hot take AFC West.
Yeah, what are you
They
saying?
might have the best roster in the AFC West.
See, that's not a hot take.
Hold on. We because we did hot takes.
Yes,
My hot
exactly.
take was
Yes,
the
they had
best
the best
roster.
roster.
Yours was the
Yes.
one in the division.
Yes.
The free agency period excites us like no other, man.
I mean,
does.
don't blame you.
It's sometimes that we just bet on them making the right decisions
Is
in the draft.
Greenlaw straight? Greenlaw just strained.
Strain.
Okay.
Yeah, because he sent the news and he was like, "Nah, that might be cap."
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I fell to the floor
Yeah. No, that's why I unsent it in the chat. 'Cause
I
like,
know
oh, shit.
exactly how you feel.
because the draft ended. The
know how you
draft
feel, bro.
literally ended,
Yeah.
and then torn.
The draft is so
Torn quad,
huge,
yeah.
dude, for like trying to project some teams. I'm sure if the Broncos got a better draft haul with players that I was more familiar with, I would have loved. What they
I'm
did.
not gonna pretend like I'm the most versed with RJ Harvey, especially on draft day. A lot of people were in my mentions trying to tell me he's this year's Bucky Irving. I'm like,
lot of Broncos
okay,
fans,
if
I'm
you
sure.
if you
I'll be honest,
say
that's kinda
that,
fire.
I'm hype.
RJ
Because we
Harvey-
missed out on Bucky Irving last year, and we decided to go with Troy Franklin instead of the other Oregon boy.
I don't hate that pick. RJ Harvey, I really
don't
don't
either.
hate that pick. I
an
think that
explosive
was
runner.
a good pick. He's 5'8", he's explosive, like that was mentioned, and he can break away runs. If you give him lanes, like I think he has the vision to do that.
He's a little Travion light. You know what I mean? Not as great as a prospect, but he has the explosiveness. So
I told you. I mean, I put $10 on him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year,
bet.
plus
yeah, I mean, plus
3,000
3,000. He could because he
for
could be
an
the RB1 on that
role.
team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's easy money. Like I'm just.
Well, yeah, I mean, Genti. I forgot. It's like who's the obvious?
Genti's the obvious one. The Broncos just have the offensive line
That's a fact.
that can
And
really push it
especially
over
if
the
they
top.
win, say they do win the division or something, of that going for him.
Yeah, so that's why I think the Broncos, the running back pick I was fine with, but the picks after that, Pat Bryant, I thought it was kind of crazy. Torrey Horton, I would have really loved. I would have got behind that a lot.
Can't believe we drafted a Nye Smith, the Georgia receiver.
Yeah,
Did
He
you
has
like
some
your
drop
draft,
problems.
Joe?
Can't catch.
I love the Jets draft.
I loved their first 3 picks.
Mason Taylor was very firm. I
Yeah,
wanted Mason
I
Taylor.
loved the corner we got from FSU. He's a really
Azaria
good player.
Thomas,
And the safety we got too, Moore
okay.
from Bama.
Malachi Moore. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
it was really just the
He's
the
tough.
Smith
I watched
pick
his tape.
from Georgia. He's a burner. Like he's one of maybe the fastest player in the damn draft, but he can't catch the ball, and he doesn't have any route
That was,
tree.
I believe in Malachi Moore.
yeah,
I saw his tape.
The only thing
His tape is
I
good. It's
yeah,
good
no,
tape.
he could start day one.
the only thing I want to comment
It's a rev
on
guy.
with the Malachi Moore's your
Yeah,
guy.
he's a dog.
The only thing I want to comment on with the Jets draft and why I'm soured on it is another reason why I'm soured on the Steelers draft. You had 4 rounds to get a quarterback. And it didn't have to be the first.
Yeah.
Damn, it didn't have to be the second.
I get
Apparently,
it. Apparently,
it didn't even have to be the third. No, Shedeur is irresponsible.
You know,
You let a team that drafted a quarterback
Pittsburgh, too,
get him
though.
again.
Pittsburgh could've got him.
I know.
The Jets just went through a quarterback running the organization, and Shedeur wouldn't run the organization.
Thank you for saying
but
that.
he would have all of the coverage and everything written about him that I think Aaron Glenn's like, I'm good off it.
New York media, it's going to be hostile. Well, newsflash, pal, even without Shedeur, it would have been crazy.
here's the thing, though. And this is an interesting conversation about Shedeur. Clearly, his draft slide happened because a lot of teams didn't view him that highly. Like, I think he's a day 2 prospect. When you have that level of attention, there's certain things that you'll give and take. If this was Caleb Williams, he's still going to be the first overall pick, even with this level of attention, because he has the talent. Shedeur slipped so far, and I think part of the thought process from a lot of teams were, is it worth it to bring in this much attention for a quarterback that we view more as a backup quarterback? And then there's the politics in play there. Like, you know, if you think Shedeur is a franchise quarterback and he's a starter and that's what he's going to be, then I'm sure you think it's worth it. But to a lot of the NFL teams, how they viewed it, they viewed him as a backup, and this backup is going to have all this attention. We bring him to the organization with the starter, and we're going to have just fans every week rioting for him to play and start and all this. We saw this with the Tebow Mania stuff, even though he wasn't really good.
Whoa.
Tebow? Yeah, really just after the Broncos, you know, he wasn't that good. You know, the Jets, I remember there was a media circus around the Jets.
Can I also be transparent, you guys? Just really quick statement. I was upset at Peyton for choosing the Broncos for a little while. Took away Tim Tebow from the Broncos.
Oh.
I was going wherever Peyton was going.
Tim Tebow was survived. Tim Tebow was fun.
No, they survived though, right? On the way, beating the Dolphins, Chargers, Raiders, Steelers, playoff.
Well, we actually drove him away from the Colts. We beat him in his last playoff game is losing to the Jets.
No, Tebow?
Peyton Manning.
No. His last playoff loss in the Colts was with the Jets. Correct.
Tebow did shit on us on Thursday Night Football.
He did.
No, I know. It was amazing.
Didn't go to school the next day.
Tebow with the Broncos was some of the most fun I ever had watching football.
It was one of the best football moments ever.
Yeah.
Back to this Shedeur point, though.
Yes.
Like the Browns selecting Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur, and then they take Shedeur Sanders. I can't help but feel like the owner stepped in and was like, "No, you have to draft him." Because when you look at their faces when he was drafted,
Jimmy Haslam-esque.
Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barry's faces when
they weren't excited.
Shedeur was drafted, they weren't up in arms like, "Yeah, we got a starter in the 5th round." They were just like,
"We got to deal with
it."
It
looked like they were forced into it.
How much stock do we put into Mel Kiper having him 5th on his big board?
I think Mel Kiper knows what he's talking about.
He does.
And I think we do put stock into that.
I do personally.
Yeah, for
especially after the Aaron Rodgers debacle. I'm not saying Shedeur is Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying.
But yeah,
he was on the right side of history there.
I mean, teams passed on Aaron Rodgers, not even all of them, but most of them passed on once. Every team passed on him 4 or 5 times.
Kiper was having an aneurysm.
No, yeah, and I saw the back and forth he was having too, and he has a right to be upset because I thought Shedeur was the 2nd best quarterback in this draft. But to Joel's point, if a team is going to pass on you 4 to 5 times, there's something there, whether that's interviews, you know, for some people it's medicals off the field. But
no, they're going to regret it.
The Giants, there was Tom McShay reported that his interview with the Giants went bad, and it wasn't just personality driven. It was they asked him to do some work on the whiteboard, and I think Brian Dable challenged him, and then something happened from there. It was just some friction.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I mean, you saw a couple different reports that the one report was he was questioning Shedeur on something or whatever install package they gave him who wasn't prepared, and he was questioning him about stuff, and Shedeur apparently just didn't take the line of questioning in a positive way and maybe got defensive. At this point, I'm speculating, but the report is Brian Dable challenged him on something, and Shedeur was just kind of didn't take it well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good. The thing is, maybe it's one whole big thing against Shedeur Sanders, and the NFL just hates him. I think it's unlikely.
So let me think. So I want to ask you guys this.
Mm-hmm.
So based on him going in the 5th round, the NFL clearly viewed him in some sort of way, whether it's personality driven, interviews driven, on the field, tape driven. It is what it is. Are you saying those teams are wrong?
His tape is not 5th round.
Nah.
No, it's not.
That is egregious.
He shouldn't have been the fifth quarterback taken off the board?
Bro, they took Dylan Gabriel over him. That's crazy.
The question you asked about Mel Kiper, I think he knows what he's talking about a lot. He's one of the people in media that I respect. I also respect other people in the media. I respect Daniel Jeremiah's opinion.
Definitely.
I respect Dane Brugler from the Athletics' opinion a
You a
lot.
Todd McShay guy or not really?
I think Todd McShay is really good at what he does as well. There's also a lot of people not named Mel Kiper that almost all of them were kind of like, yeah, this dude's a 2nd-round quarterback. Like, he's a day 2 prospect, and usually those are like backups. Like, maybe there's some upside there, but Shedeur has a good arm. It's not a great arm.
He's extremely accurate on his deep balls, though.
He is accurate, but he also had Travis Hunter, who he could just throw it to.
I agree with what you're saying
can
there,
catch anything.
obviously, but his ability to lead a receiver, his accuracy.
Daniel Jeremiah in his final mock had Shedeur in the 1st round.
That's based on team need, but
His
they
rankings.
all have their like top 50 players, and they all have.
No,
like,
I
their
get
grades,
that, but
yeah.
even still, like, I get it if you don't think he's that good. You know, his tape isn't the craziest, but there's still people there's people who literally scout and they're very high in that regard that still even them had him at worst 3rd round.
Exactly.
So him going 5th, I think it's deeper than his talent.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with you there where the slide didn't warrant what he actually is and what his grade is.
It has to do with like all the shit that comes with it. His father and all that. You know,
I
that's
think
fair.
at worst he should have been drafted in the 2nd round. I think that's where he should have been drafted. But, 2nd-round quarterbacks usually are players that you don't really view as starters. So
For sure.
they had to balance out the media publicity that their team's going to get and the constant push for a starting quarterback. For maybe they a lot of teams that draft a quarterback past the 1st round, they're not looking for a starter. They're looking for a backup. They're looking for a Jalen Milroe, a developmental prospect.
Yeah, I mean, and sorry not to cut you off, but you do see some of those clips of Shedeur, whether it's on Twitter where they were talking about a teammate and he's like, I forgot bro existed, whether it's him getting off the field and not shaking hands with the opposing quarterback and kind of just shrugging him off. All that stuff matters. If you think about all of the best quarterbacks in the leagues, we have basically no divas in terms of that quarterback position. Mahomes, Josh, Lamar, Joe Burrow, all of these guys are excellent leaders. There's no off the field stuff. Really nothing bad to say about them off the field. So if you want, or if you think Shedeur is going to be your leader at quarterback, he's kind of the opposite of what all of these guys, what they represent and who they've been so far in their career. So I hear it. I think the NFL spoke, and listen, they've been wrong before. Maybe they'll be wrong this time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice bar.
Yeah, it was. With Shedeur Sanders, I don't think he helped himself throughout the combine process either. I thought if he participated in the
he did
combine,
doing the Shrine Bowl
Exactly.
and the All-Star games and all this
listen,
stuff.
Cam Ward didn't do it either, but Cam Ward was kind of like the locked-in number 1 pick.
And you also have when you see those whatever the BR thing was, Cam Ward and Shedeur together and just their personalities, you saw one guy who was the number 1 overall pick and one guy who kind
Bit of a diva.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you want to go make a song? Cam Ward's like, I'll play football. And
I
you know what
hated
mean?
that, though. I hated that.
But
Because Shedeur made a good point in that video, too. Is like, you don't have other hobbies? Like, is that crazy? No, it's not.
He said, my hobby, football.
yeah,
That obviously, like, Cam comes out very well in that clip.
But I think that's how you have to,
he's all
for better or
work,
for
no
worse,
play.
I think that's how you have to represent yourself when
especially
you have cameras
in the moment, because I think Shedeur could have been more self-aware in this is a job interview.
Yeah.
He's not coming to Colorado where his dad is the head coach and he's bringing all these top recruits.
You're not wrong.
He doesn't own the
He's
place.
got to sell himself.
He is an employee.
Yep.
And yeah, I think the slide was bizarre, and I don't think his personality is the reason why teams should just not draft him, because the NFL drafts far worse people,
Absolutely.
especially that have actual legal trouble. So I don't want to say that. I think Shedeur is a great person, but at the same time, it's when you're interviewing for a job, and that's what the combine and the pre-draft process is, you have to make yourself look as good as possible, as much of a leader as possible. If Shedeur did participate in the combine, if he was buttoned up, and it's not wrong to code switch based on situation. When you're trying to get a job, you're trying to sell yourself on a team, you should do that, because guess what? Not being a first round pick cost him millions.
Yeah.
If he was a
Tens of
first
millions.
round pick, he would have been guaranteed $20 to $30 million with the 5th-year option if he plays well. A 5th round pick, he's making
I don't think he cared
$1
about the
million
money,
for
though.
the entirety of the contract. Like, it's a different tax bracket, first round pick versus being a 5th round pick. So if you want to sell yourself and be a first round pick, you have to carry yourself in a certain way. And I think he could have handled it better. It wasn't worth the slide that he had, but it also is just a lesson that sometimes you have to be buttoned up.
Well, and I think the Cleveland Browns are going to reap the rewards off this, because now you're getting a kid who's going to be hungry, motivated, dedicated. And it's funny you mentioned the clip about him talking to Cam Ward about making music. I think Shiloh was jokingly saying like, "Yo, you gonna make a song now?" He's like, "Nah, I'm done with music right now." I was just like,
That's
okay.
but that should have been the energy.
But,
the whole
but
time.
here's the thing:
is a real
Nah,
funny
OD.
because he like
OD.
you slide. I know I
They
ain't.
doing you like this.
He funny though. He know who he is.
I fully believe Shedeur is going to be great, man. Or he's going to be really good. I think he's going to definitely supersede that fifth round draft.
I mean,
pick.
realistically, unless it's Joe Flacco, they go that route. He's the most talented quarterback on the roster. Better than Kenny Pickett.
I think
better
he
than
has
Gabriel.
a real chance to start. And the other thing that you deal with too as a locker room and drafting him is, even though they drafted Dylan Gabriel, even though they brought in Kenny Pickett, a former 1st round pick, Denzel Ward, as soon as he was drafted, congratulated him. Shedeur is so liked by so many people and is so known.
Mm-hmm.
He has the locker room too. So if you have a starter, you're kind of battling with that. So that's where the politics come into play. And I do think he's going to start. Like at some point, he will be a starter for the Browns. And whether if it's earned or it's just like the constant
nothing
bickering
else,
in your ear, like yo, start him. I think eventually
Or
he
everyone else
will.
just sucks on the
He
team.
will start. Yeah.
Facts. And with Stefanski, I think that this was an amazing destination for him.
Now the NFL draft losers, we mentioned the Broncos a little bit. I just wanted to talk about the Bengals. The defensive line, I just don't think the pass rush improved. Shamar Stewart is an insane athlete, and I mentioned this before. There are some numbers to like about him. He led his team in pressures this past season, and he had the quickest time to pressure on his pass rush wins, which showcases that when he gets to the quarterback, he gets there fairly quickly. I think the difference between him and some other players that have more production is that he's somebody that I would call a disruptor. He didn't get the sack numbers, but he is a disruptor. He can knock the pocket back, and that's something that the Bengals didn't have last year. Trey Hendrickson would be winning on one side, and then the other players wouldn't move the offensive line at all. I think Shamar Stewart is at least capable of pushing the pocket back to make sacks easier for the players around him. But that being said, in the 2nd round, taking a linebacker Demetrius Knight over Mike Green, Nick Scorton, just adding to that defensive line as much as possible. Tate Ratledge, they took his teammate Dylan Rainchild in the 3rd round, and that was a round too early. They could add Tate Ratledge in the 2nd and maybe drafted a defender in the 3rd. I just felt like the process was a little bit out of whack. The one positive about it is that they drafted a lot of players that are high floor players outside of Shamar Stewart. All of those players that they drafted are players that they played well in college. They had production and they were solid. But a lot of those players don't have high-end traits to reach high ceilings. So what I'm saying is that they kind of got like serviceable, potentially maybe at the most starting players, but nobody that can outperform that and be a Pro Bowl or a difference maker. And I think for the Bengals, this draft was very huge for them to hit on. And maybe it does because we haven't seen them play in the NFL just yet. But the way I feel about it right now, I don't feel any better about where they are after free agency and after the draft. I'm kind of like, damn, the Bengals, they signed T. Higgins, but then after that, I don't really know how many moves they made that I liked.
You know, I'm a Shamar Stewart guy, so I'm excited to see what he does.
That's your guy.
But we will see. That is my guy.
Yeah, the only I don't really have a lot of losers. I was disappointed with Denver just because I thought they should come away from this draft with at least one running back, tight end, or receiver that you're like, day one, this is a guy that can impact the game right away. And Harvey might end up being that guy out of necessity more than anything. But I don't think they were losers. I thought overall, like, you got good players. The only other team that was just a bit surprised was just Minnesota. They only had a handful of picks. They've traded a bunch over these last couple of years trying to improve the team. And they picked at 24. I believe the Rams were 25, if I'm not mistaken. That's who the Giants traded up with. So I was expecting Minnesota to try to trade back in this draft because we've talked so much about how players 20 through like 70, you know, there's not a lot of differences between some of these guys that we saw on day two compared to the back end of the first round. So I was anticipating them to on those teams that traded back, and the fact that the Rams one spot behind them ended up doing it was a bit disappointing. And they ended up drafting an offensive lineman in the first round, a guy that has versatility to play tackle or guard. And their only other pick in the top 110, they drafted a receiver, which just felt a little weird because you wouldn't think that's their biggest need when you have two great receivers, plus TJ Hawkinson, plus Aaron Jones, who catch out of the backfield some. So it's hard when you only have like 5 picks and 4 of them are in like the 100s and 200s. But I just thought they'd be maybe a little more aggressive trying to trade down, get more day 2 picks, or even draft someone more of need in that 3rd round.
The Packers are another team. The same thing with the Bengals. I don't feel any better about the pass rush. It is the same. They drafted a defender in the later rounds, and some Packers fans have tried to sell me on that. I have to see it. I don't think it's a high upside thing. But Matthew Golden was a good pick. I like that in the 1st round. But then I saw the number he's gonna pick. It's 22.
Yeah, he's off my draft board in Dynasty.
He's number 22.
Dude.
Rashid Shaheed was
thank
that
you.
number.
Sky Moore. That's the first thing I thought of.
Now, Rashid Shaheed immediately was the first one.
Scott Moore 24.
24.
He is 24, yeah.
That's way worse.
Rashid Shaheed gives me some optimism for the number. But no, Matthew Golden, I think he's going to be good for them. I just didn't get them drafting Savion Williams. They drafted 2 receivers in the top 4 rounds. And Savion Williams,
You know what that means, right?
they don't trust their receiving room. That's what it
Somebody
means.
has to go.
Yeah.
They do have a shit
But
ton of
Savion is a
receivers.
gadget player. He's 6'5". He's more of a running back.
Gadget player and LaFleur sounds like a good combo.
Yeah, I think he'll fit in nicely there. I don't know
never a
what it
good
means for
sign
the wide
when-
receiver core. The wide receiver core clearly needed more juice, and I'm glad that they picked the wide receiver who's as talented as Matthew Golden. But at the same time, like the pass rush was a glaring need.
Yeah.
It was so obvious.
The Broncos really passed on Hampton and Golden, and they didn't have to move.
Yeah.
Like, Jahdae Barron is going to be great for
It
us.
sounds like they have a plan.
I think they do, and I think they wanted to really shore up their defense.
You chose to be elite at one thing
Yeah, we did. We
on
did.
the defensive side.
No,
of it.
you're right.
I mean, well, you chose to be elite at something else because I think the Jahdae Barron selection, given the pedigree that he has and how good he is as a corner, there was no wide receiver there that gave you that upside on offense. Like Jahdae Barron, he could play in the nickel, he could play safety, he could play on outside corner. Matthew Golden, I think, would have been a great pick. I don't think he gives your offense. It doesn't make it as scary as Jahdae Barron and what he does to the defense.
But I think that's more so to say that's more an indictment on our offense.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I do think that the Broncos are just trusting their process because, you know, it's not like this is their last season, right? Bo Nix is still going to be on a rookie contract for 2 more years. It's them saying, listen, there's not a player out there right now that we really love. And we're going to wait a year, shore up those holes on the defense with players that we do love. And then next offseason might be the offseason we go and we get that player.
I thought we loved Hampton. I think
you love Genty.
I think that we wanted to get on one knee and propose immediately.
It does
say
make
I
it
love you
tougher.
on the first date type deal to Genty. The Raiders screwed us. We would have had to do the absolute most.
And also the Browns have won a trade back twice.
No, because I think their plan was
Move to 5, get a great player.
Yes. They weren't trying to do the most after that. They already had their win by getting Mason Graham, getting the first round next year. They didn't need to trade with us. And we would have had to give an arm and a leg.
Multiple firsts, multiple seconds.
Also, sleeper option, the Dolphins. I didn't like the draft that much. Kenneth Grant in the first round. He's a fine player. For other teams, it would have been a great fit. The Dolphins getting at the highest ceiling a Christian Wilkins replacement.
I thought that was the logic, though.
Yes, it is, but at the same time, you didn't pay Christian Wilkins for a reason. You didn't pay him because you needed to shore up these other positions on your team. Jalen Ramsey demanded a trade, and they didn't draft a corner in this draft.
Their run defense was bad last year, though.
It was, and Kenneth Grant's going to be a great addition, but I think the just protecting Tua is even more important.
You don't have to tell me,
Quinn
brother.
Ewers now.
They are banking
Look at that quarterback room.
on
Tua,
the development
Quinn Ewers, and
of
Zach
their young
Wilson.
players.
Quinn Ewers,
Because
man.
they drafted Patrick Paul, an offensive tackle, last year in the 2nd round. They're banking that he's going to step in for Teron Armstead. So they're banking on their young players. We have to see if it ends up
That
panning
James
out.
Daniels pick is looking even more important now.
Yeah, no, they need him to be healthy just so they can protect Tua better. But, you know, the Dolphins had a hole at corner. They had a hole at offensive line.
They passed on Will Johnson, too. That shocked the shit out of me.
You can argue they had a hole at wide receiver if Tyreek Hill demands a trade any day now. So they have a lot of holes.
They picked up
Nick
Westbrook-Akine,
Nick
yeah,
Westbrook-Akine.
Yeah, they have a lot of
good
holes.
pickup.
So
Tyreek
I
could
don't know.
ask for a trade
Broncos
at any
usually
moment.
should have
It was
been
like,
on
got
that.
like $3 million.
I don't know what the
I got
fuck we were
the I got
doing.
the Patriots over the Miami Dolphins. I think they lapped them. I think next year we're gonna see the Patriots be
Healthy
the second
Tua or
best.
what?
Even healthy Tua, I think the Patriots will be the
I
second
don't
best
know,
team in
man.
the division.
We'll see.
We'll definitely see.
Well, healthy Tua, healthy Drake May. Healthy Drake May is better.
Now
He's
this.
talking.
It's just always someone better than Tua.
Savion Williams, right?
Just
Savion,
always someone better than him.
It's always adding into the list.
one of his first lines for Savion is he's going to contribute as a punt returner. It's usually not a great sign. It's like special team
Marvin
third
Mims.
round.
Hey, Devin Hester made the Hall of Fame.
Proper preparation prevent poor performance. Yo, Marvin
That's a fact.
Mims.
It's just whenever you're like looking for a wide receiver, and that's the first thing. it's
Deshaun
like,
Jackson,
this-
all-time punt
why not a
returner.
receiver?
And that's
Tyreek
going to
Hill.
do it for this episode of the Pick a Side Podcast, episode 482. If you're watching this far, make sure you guys like the episode, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and go on Twitter, follow us at Pick a Side Pod, on TikTok and Instagram at Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.